And we're back, except it seems the Octopath Traveler stuff is still up. We're not playing Octopath today, nor are we getting quizzed on it. Let me take this down so I can show y'all my drawing, hold on, and we are gonna get back to the draws. I hope y'all are doing well. Give me a second, and go down here. We'll take off this one, take off this one, maybe, yeah. And then there's like an image. There we go. That looks right to me. If anyone was wondering what that was about, check out the Octopath trivia that I just participated in yesterday. It was such fun. I loved it. It was brilliant. I'm not drawing Octopath. Sorry. I'm not drawing Octopath today. I should at some point though. I kind of really want to, but I just haven't had the time to. So many things to draw, so little time to draw it in. One day I'll get back to Octopath, but it is not this day. There we go. This day we are doing some Zelda stuff. As one does. Got turned upside down. Here we go. Working on a little design sheet. Hope y'all are doing well. Hope y'all are doing well on this fine Monday. It's a Monday. As it is. Every now and then it does be a Monday. And let me also just make chat more visible. There we go. Hopefully people can hear this too. Yeah. What sorts of fun things did y'all do on the weekend? Hopefully you had a good time and weren't forced to, I don't know, just like work all day or something, you know. Some of y'all people probably ended up doing that anyways, yeah? I did, I know. I got a little bit of a break, but I did end up having to do some work, which was unfortunate. Okay, where was I gonna go with this? Let's start putting down some colors. See if I can get some color. Also, yo mob, yo grilled turtle. Yo Kextra. Yo Watchamafax. Yo Marina. I had to scroll down. Chat window became small all of a sudden. Don't know why. It happens sometimes. Here. Posted the Echo propaganda. Hey! Oh, that'll be fun. Okay. I think I saw it. Did I see it? Yeah, it was the one you posted in the Discord, right? I saw it. Yeah. It was so neat. I love it. Yeah, I did. I posted all the portrait icons and such. I'm glad I finally finished those. It opens up so many other things. I have so much that I can now finally do. I've been waiting for ages to make a timeline. I think I'm gonna have to do it at some point, and now's as good a time as any. It also is it a little oranger, I think. Yeah. Let's do something like this. Just gonna put down some base colors and see what they look like, and then we'll see what we can do from there. As one does. Did I see another poll to do? Technically, yes. If you haven't yet participated in the Wisdomverse Zelda poll, and if you like Zelda, I know definitely there's some people in here who are here for the tactics side of things, which is totally fair. Feel free not to vote if you don't want to. But if you aren't from the tactical side, if you like yourself some Zelda games, then I do believe there is a poll available for you. So about voting time season area, I set out a little. I only started this last year, but I set out a little poll, and we see which Zelda can reign supreme in the popular conscience. Last time it was very obviously Flora, which is Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And honestly, with Flora's new game coming out in 4 days, I don't know. I haven't seen the results. I don't look at them. So, I have not looked at the results yet, but I'm just saying it's going to be it's going to take a concentrated push to take down Flora. Oh yeah, the poll is a little bit outdated. Actually, if you put the exact same link in there, but if you put 2025, you will get a link. But let me change that actually, because the secret that I've been telling people on my stream that nobody else knows is that the Tumblr and Insta polls are actually different. So you guys don't do the Insta poll, do the Tumblr poll. I think that would make more sense. Let me get you a proper link to that. Can I even get the link to that? It's on the Tumblr. Can I log on to Tumblr from this computer? I don't think I've ever logged on to Tumblr. I don't even remember my own Tumblr username. Okay, never mind. Wait, this... No, wait, this is not me. Sign in. Okay, log in. Continue. Oh. Did it work? Oh, it worked! Let's go! Yay! Okay, hold on. Now I gotta find the link. So here, Wisdomverse popularity poll. There we go. Made the poll. Copy link address. And let me set it in this thing so that anytime it gets pulled up, I won't have to retype it. We can just do exclamation mark polls. So stream elements. Dashboard. Log in. Don't need any of this. Chatbot, commands. There's all sorts of stuff in here that I set up ages ago and no longer remember. Okay, here we go, poll. And there. All right, try it now. Yeah, if you put in exclamation mark poll into chat right now, you'll get a link to the new and proper Wisdomverse poll. Go check it out. Place your votes. Only the top 3 matter, by the way. So if you wanna order them all, you can, but only the top 3 are gonna actually count for something. It's 3 points to the one in first place, 2 to the one in second, and 1 to the one in third. And then the rest of them all get 0. And all the points at the end will be tallied up between both Tumblr and Insta to see who will reign supreme. It's hard to contend with the Zelda that gets propaganda from Nintendo of all people. Yeah, genuinely true. And like, I mean, I think it's totally fair. Like, I haven't seen the results. I have not seen the results, but I'm just saying. I think we will need a concentrated push from any other character. If you were thinking of voting for Flora, you probably shouldn't, because I bet, but you never know. You never know. Maybe somebody will take over. This is, after all, the year of Echo. Echo of the Past did release very, very recently. So who knows, who knows? And I've also changed the format a little bit. I think last time Flora won because I said pick your top 3, and then I assigned each of the top 3 1 point. So it might be possible that a lot of people put Flora in their top 3, but maybe all the people who would include Flora in a top 3 give Flora like 3rd place, essentially, right? Because I feel like most people have like a different fave and then maybe also Flora. You never know, you never know. So it's possible that the new format will actually change things entirely. But yeah, considering that her game is coming out literally right now, like in 3 days. It's a wonderful time to be Flora in the polls. Mob out here going vote for Echo. Yeah, you could vote for Echo. I feel like, so here's my predictions. I always give my predictions on stream, which by the way, do not take my predictions into account. Vote for who you feel like. But yeah, I think this year Dawn is not going to be last place anymore. That's my prediction. I think Echo of the Past has boosted Dawn's popularity. I think Artemis is last place. I'm calling it right now. This is fine. This is intentional. I have definitely said it. Don't worry. Artemis will get her time to shine, but it has not happened yet, and so I am completely certain that I think she will get last place. I'm certain that I think that she will get last place. I think Dawn is still not escaping like end of the game though. She's probably like second to last. But I think she's no longer last. Yeah, that's true. Favorites do change. Also true, also true. I think as more people play more games, and also as more people get more, like more characters get more info in Wisdomverse, I think that definitely contributes to it. Like, we got to cover a lot more of Dawn, so I've been seeing people like really last time Dawn lost by like a significant amount, actually. This time I think it'll be like at least close, like the fight for last place will at least be close. Or she won't get last place. That's what I'm hoping for. Other than that, I know there's a lot of Spirit Tracks fans who came in from like one post that went vaguely viral on Insta. So I feel like Insta might carry Spirit Tracks a little, like maybe Phantom will get a few votes. As long as Echo remains third, I'm happy. Yeah. I think Echo's actually gonna do pretty well. I feel like Echo stays in top 3. Echo of the Past brought like a lot of people in, I think, to Wisdomverse, so because of that, it's self-selective, right? Probably. Probably. I could be wrong, though. I could definitely be wrong. There's also a concentrated push for Tetra to win. You never know. Hoping for second. Yeah, you never know, you never know. Last time, the difference between the votes on Tetra, Sun, and Echo were like 1 vote. Like, it was like very, very close between all 3 of them. Like, Sun just barely lost the podium, and Tetra won by, like, I think 2 votes over Echo. Like, she got second over, like, Echo by 2 votes or something in the end. And Flora massively outpaced them all by, like, I don't know, like 50 votes or something. Like, it's crazy. Maybe even 100, I don't actually remember. It was significantly large. Flora was, like, very substantially in the lead with no way of coming down from it. To be fair, that was, like, right after, like, Tears of the Kingdom had come out. It was very popular. They had been talking about stuff like that. So Echoes of Wisdom had just come out, and I think that helped, but I think I had only released a little bit of Echo of the Past, just maybe the first chapter, so. You know what, I have my color palette. Why didn't I put that up? Hold on. Let's put my color palette up here. There. 1 vote per IP address allowed. Yeah, if you happen to live in the same place as another person who's also watching Wisdomverse, then so someone else asked me this question, then yeah, I recommend you do the other poll. So like there's a separate poll for Insta and Tumblr. I am telling people this secretly. Don't share the secret. It's a secret to everyone. But yeah, feel free to vote in the other poll. All the votes count the same, so it's definitely not gonna affect anything. And then also let me just pull up, let me put up my color palette. And then Grilled Turtle summons the wrong Flora. That's great. See, the poll link is different. Yeah, technically, since people on stream know this, you could vote in 2 polls. No, it's the same poll. Marionette, if you've already voted in the Insta one, that's fine. You can just keep that. It doesn't really matter. In the end, it's the same. But yeah, I feel like I'm giving you guys a slightly different link because I feel like the Tumblr audience is different than the Insta audience. I feel like the Insta audience is more casual viewers. If you consider yourself a casual Zelda fan, use the like Insta poll. If you consider yourself like a lore enthusiast, use the Tumblr poll maybe. Not that it matters. Not that it matters. I'm just kind of curious, like which fandoms are gonna carry which ones, you know? All right, give me a moment to pull up this thing. Yeah, but either way, it's gonna be the same. Like, it doesn't actually affect anything. I will simply be adding up the numbers in the end. Where is my really jank color palette? There it is. I found it. Use the roll poll. Yeah, don't worry about it. That's fine. It's okay. It's not gonna change anything. There we go. Lynn's over here trying to suss out the most minute details of the fandom to see who is the most loyal. And thus worthy of living once she rises up as Time Lord. Hey, why do you assume I would raise everyone else? Like, there's no way. I would at least enslave the rest of humanity. Come on. When I eventually reign supreme. Actually, I was talking about this earlier with Dust. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to rule the world. That sounds boring. Like, what would I do with the world? I want to be like the strategist that helps somebody rule the world, and then they can have the world afterwards. Like, that's not the part that I'm interested in. I want the process of obtaining the world without having to deal with the world once I have it. Yo, Joe, how's it going? Also, yo, Slick, I forgot if I said hi to you, but yo, I saw your texts. I saw them messages. Hope it's going well for y'all. We're just doing some art today, some casual art. There's no Dust today, unfortunately. Dust is doing a rest. Taking a little bit of rest. Why is Lynn planning world domination? I wasn't! I wasn't, I promise. It's not me. Are you going to gather like all the Wisdomverse fans and create a Doflamingo bird cage? Wait! Why would I? Wait, okay, but like even if I did, why would I imprison my own fans in the cage? Like, shouldn't realistically like all the people who don't want to be my fans be in the cage? For context, the Doflamingo birdcage kills everybody in it. For people who haven't read One Piece. Like, realistically, would I not want to keep the people who are my fans alive? This seems like a bad solution. Also, Doflamingo is such a... Like, why would he do that? It's not helping him any. He's just kind of an egotistical maniac. I'm much more strategic than that guy. You could use it to rule over us or something. I guess that's true. I guess that's what Doflamingo does in the end. He uses it as, like, a threat. Anyways, remember to vote Tetra, Artemis, Echo, and or Dot in the Zelda poll. That's a good set of options. I like that. With your help, we can have a tie for third. I'm curious who... Yeah. I'm curious who you guys think is gonna win, actually. So I said my predictions earlier. Who do y'all think is gonna win? Oh, I put these in the wrong layer. Oh, frickin', I don't care. We're gonna do more colors after this anyway. Wait, what? Oh, I see. Yeah, I said my predictions. I'm not gonna look at the results until the midpoint, and then I actually don't even know if I will put the midpoint results up. I feel like last time what happened is it just like, it made everything go even more in the direction that it was already going in. I wanted like a close competition, so I kind of prefer it the other way. So maybe I won't show midpoint. Yeah, Flora is winning because, well, here's the thing. I don't actually know. It's very possible that if enough people take their vote, because last time Flora won because I think I asked for top 3. I actually genuinely think Flora could, if at least not like lose, I think she could have a close fight against someone else, like either like Sun, Tetra, or Echo. I'm an optimist, but I think genuinely Sun, Tetra, or Echo have like a significant chance. Yeah, AOI is releasing in 4 days. I actually don't think Lullaby is gonna do all that well. I have not released enough of Time's Refrain, and also the number of people. So a lot of people did come in. I think one of the like Time's Refrain art posts went a little bit more viral. But I don't think that's gonna help, because like the people who are liking these posts are not the people voting in the poll. Like a lot of casual viewers liked these posts, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're gonna get anything done here, so. I think there's a significant difference between the preferences of casual viewers and the preferences of like hardcore fans, which is why I think Echo has a chance. Because I think the people who are reading Echo of the Past are the people who like Echo enough to vote her in first place. Same thing with Tetra. Like, there's not as many Tetra fans, but everyone who likes Tetra will vote Tetra in first place. You know what I mean? Fable will probably be up high. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I think Fable has a shot. I think the top 5, maybe. My prediction, top 5 is gonna be like Flora, Tetra, Echo, Sun, Fable. And then I think everybody else is... Phantom has like a weird middle ground where people really like her. So I think there might actually be some hope for Phantom. And then Dusk is really held back by the fact that she's not Midna. Lullaby is held back by the fact that... that she hasn't had any content about her yet. And then, yeah, I do still think Artemis will be last. I think Dawn is now going to not be last anymore. That's my belief. I think Dawn will no longer be last. I think Echo of the Past was really good characterization for her, and people liked that. Like, there has been more Dawn fan art now, which I am surprised and very pleased with. Heck yeah to all the Dawn fan art. Heck yeah to all the fan art, by the way. If anyone has drawn anything about any of these people, like, I appreciate it. It's so cool. I love seeing it. Also, I'm pulling up a reference of my own character. Hold on. Here. I gotta make sure I put these in the right places. I'm just drawing a sheet. I'm drawing a design sheet for a character that I've already designed, but that I haven't actually like gone through and written out all the details for yet, so I'm gonna do some stuff. If I could just find a good place to get the link. Oh no. Here it is. Okay. Found it. And then here. And... oh. Okay, that's actually a bad place to find a reference. I should look at the Twilight and Lullaby art. I think that was a good reference. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh yeah. Alright, this helps. Nice. Back. And with your help, we can move Artemis all the way up to 9th place. I mean, you could. It's very possible. Hyper-specific bet is that Dusk will be exactly in the middle. Ooh. I could see that. I could see that. I think a lot of people like Twilight Princess, but not too many people like Zelda in Twilight Princess. Echo, Dawn, and Flora. Ah, yes, okay. Alright. Good choices, good choices. I think Echo and Flora are gonna be an intense competition. So, yeah, any vote could count. Your vote could count, by the way. As I said last time, Tetra won over Echo by like a vote, or like 2 votes or something. It was very, very small. And then Sun lost to Echo by like a vote. Like those 3 were all in the exact same region, and they like, it was genuinely just 1 vote that made the difference. What song is this? I actually don't know. This is just a random 12 hours of copyright-free music that I pulled up on YouTube. I don't think it means anything. Nintendo releasing AOI so close to the date of the poll on the month of your birthday makes you so mad. No, I mean, I think it's valid. It's totally valid. I expect a Flora sweep, but we never know. I think enough people could, like, be convinced to vote otherwise. Yeah, exactly. Dusk is affected by the fact that Midna exists and is, like, arguably better. People like Midna a lot more than they like Dusk. I will be attempting to change that, but not yet. Not yet. So far, character focus has been on Echo and Dawn a lot more than anyone else, and I'm kind of starting with Lullaby, and Artemis will be getting her arc afterwards, so none of these other people are going to be focused on yet. Once again, campaigning for y'all to at least put Artemis for your... That's true. With Joe Generic's help, Artemis could not be in last place and maybe actually beat out Dawn. I think this could happen. I think Dawn could get last place again, if enough people vote Artemis. It's very possible. Yes, I think the rank choices will change things. This is why I genuinely... So I put the rank choices on because I think it's the only shot anyone has is beating Flora. But I think someone could do it. I think either like Tetra or Echo. Probably not Sun, I think. But like, out of the people that got second place last time, I feel like a lot of people who like Echo put Echo in first place. Versus like, a lot of people who like Flora are like, yeah, I liked Flora, like I played Breath of the Wild, you know? Like that sort of thing. I think Flora has more casual fans, but Echo has more diehard fans. Same thing with Tetra, so I would give it to either of them. I think either of them has a like distinct shot. The one vote with Artemis at number 1 will be you. Hey, some people like Artemis. I remember like back in the olden days. Back when I was like asking for characterization details on Artemis, which I still would accept, by the way, having not played Hyrule Warriors. I do remember people being like, yeah, Artemis so good, good stuff, you know. Give more love to Dot, yes, good stuff. Really like her design, I'm glad you do. I want to release, actually maybe after Lullaby I might release my Dot design. Because I put a lot of thought into that one. That and this. I think the designs that have Zeldas from like multiple games kind of just by default get a little bit more thought from me. Yeah, War General Zelda is a very cool concept. I do like that. I love how, like, she's wise, but she's like brash. This is something that a lot of the Zeldas don't have. Artemis is one of the closest to like a Link. Which is fitting. You know, considering she's equally playable in her game. She's the sort of Zelda that's like, look, you need to be defensive, sure, but the best defense is a good offense. Let's go, let's get them. And I love that. I think it's a really interesting take on a character. I really like how, like, I've sort of made each of the Zeldas have a different take on wisdom. And I think it's really fun to, like, contemplate that. Like, how many different ways can you show that you're wise, you know? Like, Dusk is obviously the exact opposite, right? Her, like, wisdom is, okay, yeah, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna give up whatever resources I have. I'll bide my time and wait. Which I love. I think it's cool. Echo is really cunning in the way that she uses her echoes. Dawn pulls up that amazing ploy to use her knowledge as hostage and keep herself alive despite her parents having just been killed in front of her like 5 seconds ago. Tetra launches wind at a fortress in a giant catapult. Oh, man. Did she seriously still steal Link's sword? Ooh, no, there's actually an entire reason that she has this specific sword. I assume, Lava King, you're talking about this sword. Yeah, I am not going to explain why. I think people right now technically have all the pieces they need to put together the mystery, but I have not made it clear. Wait until the next chapter of Secrets We Keep, and then I think I will expect people to start getting this sword. Yeah, I know people recognize the sword, but the question is how she got it. She did not... in fact, she doesn't even know that the sword belongs to Link. She has no clue. Is Secrets We Keep a full fanfic or a comic? It is a fanfiction. It is not yet complete, but it has 13 chapters. I recommend it, but I am biased because I wrote it. A little bit of bias. Yeah, so Secrets We Keep essentially tells the Link side of the story for what they're doing during the events of Wisdomverse. And it will be relevant to the plot of Wisdomverse, but not in any, like, actual... So essentially, you can definitely read either one alone. You could read just Secrets if you want. You can read just Wisdomverse, like Wielders of Wisdom, if you want. You will not need any information from either one. But if you do have them both, you will kind of get, like... There will be some connections. You could start, like, predicting things early if you wanted to. We've got to read. Honestly, I was talking about this earlier. Kids these days don't want to read. Children, go on AO3. No, I'm kidding. You do not have to read if you don't want to. Not at all. I am definitely going to make it so that any information from any site will be told to you if necessary. But if you want to, like, understand why certain things happen, then yeah, you gotta read. I picked a bad day to respec my intelligence from smart to paranoia. It's okay, I believe in you. I think anyone can read. What if I skip all of it and only read the fillers? Are there fillers? I guess there is technically filler in Secrets We Keep. You know, like the parts where they're having fun and not being traumatized. Yeah, I guess that's a thing. Need to get caught on the comics? You don't have to. You don't have to at all. I know people here are, I know some people here are from the tactics side of things, and like, once again, you do not have to be into Zelda if you don't want to. I am equally a Fire Emblem fan. On drawing days, I draw Zelda, though. And then on tactics days, I play tactics. When Fortune's Weave comes out, oh, I'm gonna be so dead inside. Man, I hate words. As a 28-year-old, I prefer seeing stuff. That's fair and entirely valid. But as a comic artist, I simply don't have the time to draw everything, so... So some of it is gonna have to be in text. That's okay, that's how it works. That's just how it works nowadays. Like, people don't really want to read things. People want to, like, get quick, fast content, which is fair. I am part of the old guard who doesn't, you know, really get into that stuff, so... Last time you read something, somebody spoiled the ending to World War II. What? Read Zelda now. Just read the Zelda, like all of the Zelda. Open up the AOL manual. Give it a read. Yeah, you do not have to read if you don't want to. I will not make anyone read. But if you do want the good lore, then give it a try. If you're a theorist, or if you like to see characters suffer. In very intellectual ways. Don't you hate it when they spoil Oppenheimer for you, Andrew? Don't you hate it when the fictional world mirrors reality in a way that you didn't expect from a biopic? Feel like you read the intro fic for Wisdomverse like thrice? Ooh. Yeah, there's some details in there. I think, so Founders Call, like the intro fic Founders Call, all the chapters there are pretty much canon. The one chapter I might change is Dot, because I think from when I first wrote it, so the stuff that happens will be the same, and it's not actually going to be, like, relevant to any of the mysteries. But, like, I just want things to happen a little bit differently, because I think Dot's character personality has changed the most since I started. Same thing with, like, Sun's appearance, for example. I think Sun's appearance has changed the most since I started. Okay, I think we're done with, like, base colors. This is good. I wanted to add... Right, there's, I've also swapped the sides. Like, I noticed this after I drew it, but I kind of like it this way more. Maybe I'll stick to this in the future. Let it be known that I do not mind. Whichever side you choose to put Lullaby's scar on, I'll be like, yeah, whatever. The scar is on both sides. It's that scene from Avatar where, like, they're like, that's a good Zuko costume, but your scar is on the wrong side. And he's like, my scar is not on the wrong side. You just want your Zelink? There's no Zelink in Secrets We Keep because all the Zeldas are busy with Wisdomverse, so then yeah, don't read it. You're not gonna get Okay, there's a little dot shadow content actually. Content Dawn starting chapter rewrite. Yeah, I think when Echo of the Past came out and I decided on the merge, I went back and rewrote. I didn't change much actually. I changed like a few details. I just basically made Echo's hair blonde and like put it in like a bun. And then I quietly removed the part about the whole like dual council figureheads because I think that's just too much. We're not gonna get to that. I actually might go back and remove the part where Dusk sneaks out of the castle. I think she should just walk out of the castle. It doesn't matter. I was like planning on maybe focusing more on like the stealth bit for her and like how she uses that in Smash and like her connection to Lullaby, but I am no longer gonna be focusing on that. It's a good angle, but you know, no time. No time to do everything. something ambidextrous sprite. Yeah, it's fine. But I mean, it is a scar, yeah. No, there's actually, I ship like half the Zelinks. Hold on, so I've done this before. Someone asked me earlier to speedrun my Zelda my Zelda ships, and I'll do it again. Hold on. So I ship Sun and Sky, that's one. I ship like, okay, so I think Dot and 4 used to date, but like Shadow's death kind of just, it makes both of them think that they're missing something and they can't handle it, and they broke up very amicably. Like, they're like amicable exes is what they are. They could get back together in the future, I don't really care. Like, I'm okay with Dot 4, I'm okay with Dot Shadow, I'm okay with 4 Shadow, I'm okay with 4 Erine, like the girl from the manga. I'm genuinely okay with anything in the Four Swords era, do what you want. I think the more I wrote Secrets We Keep, the more I've been into Dot Shadow though. I think it's kind of cute, actually. And the more I reread the Four Swords manga, the more I realized how Dot and Shadow actually do have a really good connection. The scene where like Dot is being kidnapped finally by Ganon and like Shadow like does his best to stop him but isn't able to, and that's when he turns into Vio. It was so good. I loved it. So yeah, I'm just saying. So that's one. One Zelink so far. 1.5 Zelinks. 4 Dot is like half a Zelink. Like, I'm okay with the ship. I ship it. I think they definitely used to date, at least like right after Four Swords Adventures they dated. But then yeah, I think at the moment they're broken up very amicably. They're good friends. They're still childhood friends. They don't let it get between them. Okay, Lullaby and Time I do not ship. I think they're actually, so some people ship them, totally fine. You can ship what you want, I do not care. But I personally think that they would be bad for each other. And you'll see why. You will see why. Yeah, I ship Time and Malin. I ship Lullaby and someone. Alright, what else? Fable, I ship with Maple. We've been over this. Legend, I ship with Marin and Ravio. That's right. He gets, well, I guess Marin's dead, but you know what I mean. What else is there? Echo and Silent. So now that's like, what? 2? 3? 2.5. 2.5 Zelinks so far, okay. Dawn and Hyrule, that's 3.5 Zelinks. Alright. What else? What else? Going in order still. Tetra Wind and Spirit Phantom, so that's 4.5 to 5.5. Okay, cool. Dusk. I do not ship Dusk with Twilight. They barely know each other. Twilight is like, oh yeah. What's her name again? Princess, like Hilda. Yeah, I think both Dusk and Twilight loved Midna in different ways. Twilight romantically. Dusk, I've always viewed as ace. Once again, I do not care. Like, ship my characters with whoever. Ship any of the Zeldas with whoever. I'm not here to police the fandom. I don't own the Zeldas. I own only my interpretations of Zeldas, and like, I don't mind if you rip off of those. I don't care at all. I think it's really cool, so please feel free. If you want to ship like Dusk with like, I don't know, like Midna or like Twilight or like whoever you want, go for it. I personally don't ship him. I think she just comes off as really ace to me. Here and then like outwards. It's a funny sword. Who made this sword? It was a weird ass sword. I mean, I know who made this sword, but still. Oh, no, okay, so Time and Requiem, yeah, so Time and Lullaby you can ship, I don't care. Time and Requiem you can ship, but I'm gonna judge you for it. So if you think about it, okay, I know a lot of people really like Ocarina of Time Zelink, but it doesn't make any sense. So Lullaby here is very, very openly, by the way, post-OOT Zelda. I did this on purpose. I chose the child timeline for a reason. Many reasons, actually. But one of them is that it doesn't make any sense. It genuinely does not make any sense if you ship Time with Requiem specifically. Because Time is like a 9-year-old piloting a 17-year-old body around. Like, that's just kind of weird. You can't go shipping him with... Like, he's 9. He's 9. It's kind of weird. Requiem is the nickname for the the Sheik that you know in Ocarina of Time. Also, yo, ILOVT, thank you for the raid. Welcome, folks. How's it going? We're drawing some Zeldas today. Or I guess one Zelda. Did the OOT manga sway you at all? Okay, I don't remember the... I mean, I remember it. I remember the manga. I don't remember the Zellinkness in the manga. Was it, like, super explicit or something? Was it? I don't remember this. Did they really Zellink it? It doesn't make... Either way, it's like a 9-year-old with a 17. It doesn't make any sense. You can't do that. Also, Illuminati. I love that. Very cool. Yo, Super Sarah. Yo, Kujo X. Kujo X, by the way, are you a JoJo fan? I need to know. You've spelled your name the same way as the characters from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What were you up to? Were you playing something fun, I assume? Link was crushing hard on Zelda where he forgot Saria. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That does happen. I remember this. Yeah, there's actually a really cute arc. So I remember the OOT manga, and I love the part where in the OOT manga, there's like a part in the beginning where Zelda kind of like sneaks out into like the fairgrounds and meets up with Link. It's a very cute scene. I love it. But yeah, in the future, time travel happens, and one of them is 8 years older than the other. So you can't ship them anymore. It doesn't make any sense. And then at the end of the game, Link goes back in time. Like, he is no longer in the same time. You can ship Link with the alternate universe version of Requiem that Requiem sends him back to. But you cannot ship him with Requiem because A, there's a significant age gap. They're twice each other's age. Or like, you know, Zelda's twice Link's age. And B, they are also split apart for eternity. So it's just not going great. Playing League, that's fun. I don't know much about League, but I used to play it like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. It's been ages. It was a good time. I watched Arcane though. I did that. That is a thing I did. Heck yeah. Yes, there are 2 lullabies. The other one is called Requiem. In fact, there's a third one too, because there's the Fallen Timeline lullaby, and her name is Elegy. I came up with names for all these people to make it easier to talk about them, but yeah, just to make things... yeah, it's... It's gonna be, Yes, exactly. So one of them is from the bad timeline. We call her Elegy, named after the Elegy of Emptiness from Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is not from that timeline, but Elegy refers to a song for, like, the fallen, you know? So it makes sense that she's named after the one where her Link is dead. Her game leads into the events of ALTTP. Yeah, and then there's Requiem, which is Ocarina of Time, and that one leads into Wind Waker. And then there's Lullaby, who's Majora's Mask, and that one leads into Twilight Princess. Lots of stuff. Risk of Rain. Wait, is Risk of Rain... I feel like I should know that. Is that the horror game? I don't think I know it at all. I am bad at this. I'm looking it up. I should know this. Risk of Rain. Is that the one where the guy screams Jason? Is this not correct? No, it's not. That's Heavy Rain, isn't it? Never mind. This is a roguelike. This is not what I was thinking of. Wait, what's that game with where the guy screams Jason? Hold on. Guy screams Jason. Video game. Am I misremembering this meme? What? What? Oh, yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah, the searching for Jason scene in Heavy Rain. It is called Heavy Rain. Okay, I got them mixed up. That's on me. Never mind. It's an action roguelike. Ah, that's cool. My only experience with roguelikes is Hades, which I'm currently playing the second game of. It's so good. Heck yeah. Yes, ALTTP and A Link to the Past is the same number of syllables. Fun fact, the abbreviation for Wisdomverse is WV, which is more syllables than Wisdomverse. It's a hard knock life out here, okay? It's a hard knock life. Love Hades, did a few challenge runs but haven't gotten to the sequel yet. Yes, the first game is so good, I agree. The first game was brilliant. I didn't expect to like it because I'm not really a fan of roguelikes. And then I played it and I was like, ah, they know what they're doing. Oh, that's true. Cadence of Hyrule is technically also a roguelike. That's a good point. That's a good point. I have played Cadence of Hyrule. Cadence of Hyrule also has like an overworld, so it feels less roguelike-ish, but this is true. It is technically, canonically a roguelike. And it's a good one. Highly recommend Cadence of Hyrule. I also enjoyed that. Which, this is the thing, Dust has asked me this before. Dust is like, yo, so you've played 2 roguelikes and you love both of them. Why do you keep telling people you hate roguelikes? And I'm like, I don't know, I think my roguelike experiences I like because of not the roguelike part. Yeah, if time went back in time, is he mentally still the 9-year-old in the 17-year-old's body back in the 9-year-old? Yes, yes he is. Pretty much. The entire time he's mentally 9 years old. For all of the events of Ocarina of Time, he's mentally 9 years old. Which is why I think some people also have like a legend is the... So the hero of legend is a descendant of the hero of time headcanon. And that is, once again, very weird because that means he went forward in time and as a 9-year-old in a 17-year-old's body, he slept with someone. Which is, yeah, that's off, okay? I'm just saying. Yeah, if you're, by the way, if you want any more of all of this, read Times Refrain. I am rating this stuff up. I have a whole story planned. An entire story. Optimus Ode is really good. I did play that. It was a good time. I played Octopus Ode. I played the Skull Kid Mask one. I think there might have been other DLCs for Cadence of Hyrule and I haven't played them. I could be right though. Is Zelda from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom different from the Zelda from Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity? Ooh, okay, so that's a fun one. Technically, yes, actually. So Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom follow one specific timeline. You can imagine them like this. Hold on. Here, I'll draw it out for you. I need to write my timeline. One day I will. Okay, let's do this, right? So here. This is like Calamity. No, frick. Calamity. This is like where everybody dies, okay? And then like 100 years later, BOTW, right? And then like 5 years later, TOTK. And then right between these, the way I view it, Zelda sends back the little robot creature thing. And then the robot egg creature thing makes a different timeline starting from here. Like, kind of like knocks off a new timeline here. So that goes, and then does its own stuff. So this is like AOC. AOC. There. And we don't need this. 100. Like 5. It's like a mechanical engineering diagram. There, done. AOC. Okay. Do you think that Skull Kid is a Link? There was an old theory that like Skull Kid could be Fallen. I disagree with it, but it could be. Yeah. If you want. Honestly, anybody could be a Link if you really want. Frick it. You're a Link, he's a Link, everybody's a Link. How many gift subs for the whole whiteboard explaining the relationships? I mean, feel free to give me gift subs, but I will do it. Like, you realize the only reason I made all the... Okay, so by the way, we made ourselves... Hold on, folks. Hold on a moment, folks. For the people on this stream who may not have seen it... For the people on this stream who may not have seen it, I made a series of very cute icons representing all of the characters, every Zelda and Link in the entire Wisdomverse, and I finally finished them, and I posted them like 2 days ago, so this is new info, look here. Starting from... Look at these guys. They're so cute. The reason I made all of these, I made these specifically for one reason, and that is so I can finally make a freaking timeline. Because I had icons for all the Zeldas, and I had icons for all the Links, but they were in different styles, and I realized I couldn't put them together on the same timeline without it looking really jank. So I was like, okay, you know what? Frick it. We're doing one Link and Zelda, all 22. I'm gonna do it. Does one Zelda have dragon horns? Yes, she does. This is now massive spoilers for a game, though. If you don't want spoilers for a game that you may not know... Okay, you know what? Yeah, frick it. It's been long enough. Yeah, in Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda becomes a dragon. These are all my designs, by the way, so I did change certain things. So we have a new design for Flora here. Actually, you know what? You guys are on stream. You guys get secret content. Hold on. You can see my work-in-progress designs for that. Yeah, this is like the Flora design from back in the day. There's the full finished artwork over here, but it's been ages. I posted that somewhere. It's out there somewhere. Yeah, good time. She's got her time magic. She's got like dragon scales on her arms. This thing is actually like embedded in her skin. You can kind of see it more in this. This is the stone, you know. The Demon King? Sacred Stone? What? Yeah, and she gets to keep her dragon horns because I think it's cool. I think there should have been some fallout, essentially. Yes, I have her retain some aspects from the Draconification, exactly. And same thing for Wild. I think Wild should not have... The hero of the Wild should not have been able to just shake off all the trauma like that. So I've got him a design too. It looks like this. Here's the full artwork from that other piece. If y'all want to see it. So yeah, there. I feel like this would have been a really cool direction for the characters to go. So I'm keeping like light horns in for Flora. I think Flora herself like definitely gets to keep the light horns. They're intangible, So this is all Wisdomverse stuff, by the way, not canon. This is my interpretation of the characters. Technically in canon, they just go back to their normal selves. But in my specific Wisdomverse headcanon, Zelda keeps her horns. They're intangible most of the time, but sometimes she like kind of freaks up and they become tangible and she like bumps her head on things. Yeah, she's got scales on her arms. Sometimes they itch. The Secret Stone, you can't really see it here, but the Secret Stone is like embedded in her like chest, right at her throat. I wanted to make it bigger so it was still visible in this artwork, but realistically, it's sort of like right at the bottom of her throat because she swallowed it. So it's like stuck in her chest. And then yeah, she's got aspects of both the designs in there because, you know, good stuff. And Wild is missing his arm. I think he gets to keep his missing arm. Fortunately though, his replacement is made of Zonai tech, so he can still use all his abilities. I think he should keep Ultra Hand. I think it's too cool. He keeps Ultra Hand, he keeps Ascend. He probably doesn't keep Recall, or maybe he does. Maybe he interfaces with the stone in Zelda. I guess he can. Yeah, you know what? Frick it. He gets to keep Recall. Obviously, Zelda also keeps Recall. Flora keeps Recall. Wild also keeps Recall, maybe. Wait, Jonathan, that's so funny. Wait, I love that. I need to remember that. Oh, man. Flora and Wild are nearly canonically a thing in Tears, so they are still a thing in Tears of the Kingdom, yes. You get Recall, you get Recall, everybody gets a Recall. Yeah, pretty much. Alright, we're going back to Lullaby. Genuinely hilarious. I love the thought that sometimes she just stops and starts walking around. You don't need to be part dragon to do that. Yeah, Wild just does that. He's just rocking around. Wanted to use post TOTK. Yeah, so right now in the plot of Wisdomverse, like Flora hasn't left for TOTK yet. There will be a point in both Wisdomverse and Secrets We Keep, pretty soon probably, where Flora will just leave. She'll be back eventually. Even you get Recall, everybody gets Recall. And that's how I remember the Zelda timeline, because I'm recalling it. Here, that gives a +1 bonus to memory. Exactly. Does Link gets to keep the other sage's abilities? I think that depends on whether each sage keeps their stone. Also, I'm retconning the stupid-ass ending, where Minoru takes the sage, what is it? She takes the secret stone of spirit or whatever, and just like fricks off into the distance with it. That makes no sense. She gave it to Purah in Wisdomverse. I run an AU so I can change this now. Yes, good thing too, so I can write in anything that happens in Age of Imprisonment, correct? Yes, indeed, I am planning my AU around future content. This is a thing I've been doing since Echoes of Wisdom. Actually, no, since Tears of the Kingdom. I started this before Tears of the Kingdom released, actually. And I was right about certain things in Tears. I'm freaking really, really proud of that. Fun fact that I cannot prove. There's a scene where Fable, Dawn, and Dot, so that's the Zeldas from ALTTP, Four Swords Minish Cap, and the original Legend of Zelda. The three of them get together and do like a elemental boosted giant fire like blazing thing that takes off like a whole bunch of the bokoblins on the ground. And they like spend a little bit charging this up, and then the three of them get together and they go like, yeah, and they like do a Din's Fire run and it like kills a bunch of people. That I planned that specific scene out before Tears of the Kingdom came out, and then when I watched in Tears of the Kingdom, Zelda, Rauru, and Sonia do the exact same thing, and I was like, wait, wait, shit, that's the move. It's the same move, except they do it with the Secret Stone of Light or whatever. This is why in the recent chapter, when Dot talks about the time crystals, she's like, oh yeah, they're like elementally charged things. And then Flora's like, wow, I feel like a strange affinity to this one. That's kind of strange, isn't it? Because Flora doesn't yet know that she's like time affiliated. Should Wild have separation anxiety? I actually don't think so. Wild is an amnesiac. He woke up not knowing anything that he's missing, and he kind of gained it over time. Honestly, post-Calamity Wild is more free than pre-Calamity Wild ever was. He's kind of almost a different person, but not in a bad way. A lot of his inhibitions were stripped away, I guess, back then. Agreed, I like Sonia. I'm kind of a Rauru hater. I think this is the problem for me. I'm looking forward to Age of Imprisonment, but I'm not looking forward to the fact that people are going to start glazing Rauru again. Rauru is like a worse version of Ocarina of Time King, and Ocarina of Time King was not even that good to begin with. So I'm just saying, Like, he makes the exact same mistake of OOT, except OOT King at least had the excuse. Okay, you're gonna see this. You're gonna see this in Time's Refrain. I'm writing this as we speak, okay? Like, go read, check out my fic Time's Refrain if you want more on the backstory of Ocarina of Time. Check out Secrets We Keep if you want my theories on parallel universes and all that. Obviously, they're all done in story format, but you know what it is, okay? But unrelated to that, Ocarina of Time King, at least he had the excuse of his daughter being 9 years old and, like, technically, if a 9-year-old comes to you and it's like, oh, like, I think this man is evil, like, my dreams say so, then you'd be like, okay, like, you're 9, you know, you may not know this, right? Like, he doesn't know, you know? So I can see that. Like, he's just a little too stern for his own good. Rauru has no freaking excuse. He's talking to a time-traveling 21-year-old Princess Zelda from the future who is like, look, I can prove that I have the Secret Stone of Time. I have come back from like 10,000 years plus in the future to tell you that Ganondorf is evil. And then Rauru presumably does not do enough to stop it. So, like, I don't know, I'm just saying. But that's what it said so far in TOTK. It did not give him the best impression. Maybe Age of Imprisonment is going to clear this up and make him all like cool and stuff. Maybe he does actually do stuff. But so far, from what we saw, he was like, okay, yeah, I mean, you know, which is like valid, I guess, but like, contrast that with the best king, Echoes of Wisdom King, who, like, when he sees that his daughter is in danger, immediately pushes her out of the way, like literally yeets her away from the danger and takes the danger in his own stead, gets killed by it, comes back from the Sacred World because you save him, or the Still World, I guess, whatever, comes back from the Still World because you save him. And then when he hears about the fact that his daughter can save the world, he's like, okay, look, you're my daughter and I want you to be safe. But if you're the only one who can help us and you think you can do this, I believe in you and I'll support you any way we can. Like, what can I do to help? And it's just so good. It's so good. It must be so traumatic to die in the Still World. Like, yeah, freaking Still World sucks. I think for the sake of the sanity of everybody maintaining within, they have to, like, lose their conscience, right? Like, they can't be conscious the whole time. If they were conscious the whole time, that would really, really be terrible. There's no way. Yo, Jesse J, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the infantry. You do like Rauru yourself, but he's better than Zelda's. Okay, so here's the other thing. This is controversial. I think a lot of people kind of diss on Rauru a little bit for the stuff he does. I don't hate Rauru, I'm a disliker of Rauru. I don't think he's a bad character, not like Tingle. Tingle sucks. But yeah, Raru's okay. He's a well-written character who has well-written flaws that I don't like. But yeah, Zelda's dad, I actually don't hate him. I think King Bosphoromus, Rome Bosphoromus, freaking, I can't pronounce his name. King Bosphoromus Rome Hyrule. Rome Bosphoromus Hyrule. He's kind of a fine guy, actually. He obviously did the wrong thing, but he didn't know. And to be fair, once again, he did think that the best way to save the kingdom was for Zelda to, like, you know, try to, like, harness her powers and such, and he didn't know that anything else would have helped. To be honest, we don't know for sure that anything else would have helped either. It's entirely possible that no matter what Flora did with her time, she was screwed anyways. I do have a theory on that, though. I think I know why the Triforce only came to her at that time. It's sort of like Octopath, actually, for the people who have played Octopath, and I won't spoil which Octopath story it is, but one of the Octopath stories has a similar arc. That's slightly different, but similar. This one, I think, is slightly different, though. Essentially, I feel like at the end of, the, like, cutscenes of Breath of the Wild, there's a certain moment where Link is, like, about to die, and Flora gets up and uses her powers, and suddenly she can, like, take over all the Guardians, and she knows what to do, and, like, finally she connects with it, right? Previously, so my theory actually connects to every game in the Zelda series, because I think you use the Triforce only after, and this is something that's been proven too, I think it just kind of connects all the dots. You can use the Triforce only if you show in equal measure power, wisdom, and courage. You have to have done all three, though. So certain characters actually kind of like double up to get over that specific rule limitation. Like, for example, in Skyward Sword, Zelda shows a bunch of wisdom, but not really much courage. She just kind of like, in Skyward Sword, Zelda is like running around to the exact right location, definitely, like over and over again. But unfortunately, not really staying and fighting. And then Link shows a bunch of courage, but no wisdom, because he always shows up like late. And he gets to like wherever he is and he's like, okay, I'm here. And Zelda's like, okay, you're too late. I already finished and I've got to go. I'm so sorry. And Zelda leaves. And Link is like, ah. And then Girahim is like, okay, well, now that you're here, I'm going to fight you. And he's like, oh gosh, okay, fine, but I'll fight you. So together, both of them have demonstrated both wisdom and courage. So together, they get to wish on the Triforce once. Likewise, in ALTTP, Link uses his wish at the end of ALTTP, and I follow the combined timeline, so I put ALBW in there too. Link uses his wish at the end of A Link to the Past to set the world to rights again. And at that point, he's displayed a shit ton of wisdom, power, courage, anything he could have wanted. He's been through so much, so he can do that. Fable, who is the Zelda from that timeline, she displays hers during A Link Between Worlds, where she stands back and helps out, and the wisdom, the wisest move she could have made at the time is to restore the Triforce of Laurel, so she uses her wish on that. Hilda uses her wish. She's already displayed all three, definitely by that point, you know, considering events. She uses her wish to bring back Laurel, to set Laurel to rights again. And then Ravio uses his wish too, in my opinion. He at that point has shown all three, so he's got one as well. He uses his wish, in my opinion, to stabilize the rifts, because the rifts are still around by the time of Echoes of Wisdom, as we can clearly see. Ravio is the one who stopped them from taking over all the way back then during the events of A Link Between Worlds. And 100 years later, a new Zelda Link would have to fight that threat. And he knows it, and he's wise, he's got this. Ravio's like, look, I can't stop this from happening. I can't stop Null on my own, but I can at least stall him until the world is ready to deal with him. And so he does. Balance is usually king. Also, I'm so sorry I missed the raid, yo! Welcome folks from Tipsy Sales' stream. How's it going, Tipsy? What have you been up to? In case you weren't aware, we're doing Zelda stuff today. Clearly. Lots of Zelda stuff. Yeah, balance in the forest in my Zelda game, it's more likely than you think. Yeah, so the lore in Breath of the Wild says power of love, but here's my interpretation. So now, knowing all of that, let's take a look at what Breath of the Wild Zelda has been up to. So before the events of that specific night where she stands forth and does the whole thing, and like tries everything she can in her power to get Link to safety, before that, she has displayed quite a bit of wisdom. And quite a bit of power as well, I would say, like a decent amount. She like goes forth and like exerts her will upon the Sheikah device thingies and like gets involved in research and does like a bunch of researching, but she doesn't actually display any courage. When her dad tells her not to do the praying thing, or sorry, not to do the science things and go pray, she actually does kind of go with it. Like, she hates it, but she does go with it. Like, it is a valid interpretation of Breath of the Wild Zelda's character to say that before the time skip, she was like a little bit of a brat, like not in a bad way, because obviously like there's reasons why she's acting that way. She doesn't get to do what she wants. But she doesn't do anything courageous to stand up for what she believes in, until that one moment where she finally turns around and stands in front of the Guardian that's about to kill her, and defends Link with everything she has, knowing that nothing she do could stop it. That's when she displays courage. And by doing so, she has finally unlocked all three attributes and can use the Triforce within her. So in the end, it was all about that, in my opinion. And this explains everything. This is my old theory for why the Triforce gets used at that specific moment. But this explains everything, in my opinion. If you want more such theories, check out Wisdomverse. Hashtag. I'm so bad at self-promoting. Getting slapped around by an 80-year-old man in tails. Don't you hate it when, like, some old adventurer is like, yeah, back in my day, we one-shotted the Demon King. Like, oh, frick, alright. Works in Age of Calamity as well, since Link is against the wall, fight all 4 Calamity Ganons. Yeah, I think that is a thing that happens. I haven't actually seen, so Age of Calamity I consider a little bit non-canon, but it's still in the timeline. It's in the timeline, just not in, like, the timeline that follows Breath of the Wild. So I haven't seen it yet, but yes, I've heard about it. Feel free to spoil Age of Calamity for me, that's okay, that's allowed. Why does this Zelda have the full Triforce? That's a really good question. So, actually, she's not the only Zelda to do that. In my opinion, once again, this is all Wisdomverse stuff, okay? So, like, this is based on my specific series of headcanons that is as close to canon as could be, essentially. I'm taking canon and I am threading together the plots. I am weaving canon into as whole of a whole as I can. So yeah, in my opinion, this isn't the only Zelda who... No, it's okay. I'm not planning on playing it anytime soon. You can spoil Age of Calamity for me. That's totally fine. Spoil Hyrule Warriors if you want. I've seen all the cutscenes. It's been a while. I kind of forgotten some of the cutscenes. I think I haven't seen all the cutscenes of Age of Calamity, actually. I've seen all the cutscenes of Hyrule Warriors, because I needed to. Age of Calamity, I know, like, vague details. Anyways, yeah, Flora is not the only Zelda to have the full Triforce, in my opinion. The first one to have the full Triforce within her is probably Dot, from all the way back in Minish Cap. In Minish Cap, the Triforce is referred to as the Light Force or whatever. It's not the same thing, but I like to think that they are the same. And it is within Dot, so for all of the Four Sword games, for all of Minish Cap, Ganon and various other enemies, Vati included, try to essentially extract the Triforce from Dot, and they usually fail. Because A, Link is good. He's young in Minish Cap, really freaking young, but he's good. And B, Dot herself is powerful. She has full magic reflect. I'm so excited to get to Dot's character, guys, because like I have so much planned. She's so cool. I love Dot. Back in my day. Age of Calamity is not that old. Age of Calamity like just came out, didn't it? Wait, frick, when did Age of Calamity come out? It was like a while ago, maybe? Actually, shit, maybe it was a while ago. Oh gosh, it's been too long. Echo has the full Triforce in post Echoes of Wisdom until it splits for COH. Yeah, that's debatable. I think, so, okay, that's a little bit different. So characters like Legend and Echo, for example, they've already used their wish on the Triforce, but, like, their family has possession of the Triforce. So Legend, for example, the hero of Legend, after the events of ALTTP, goes and stores the Triforce back in the same place it was before, at the top of the pyramid in the Dark World. It looks like it's in a different place in Link Between Worlds, but I am going to ignore that because continuity, and I'm going to believe that he just put it back there and that in Link Between Worlds they put it back in the same place afterwards, essentially. Sometimes Zelda is not continuous, like that happens. Just in case you weren't aware, sometimes the Zelda franchise does have contradictions. For example, at the end of A Link to the Past, it's like, and then the Master Sword was put in its pedestal and it was never removed again. And then immediately in Link Between Worlds they're like, and then we took the Master Sword. So sometimes you have to like kind of choose which parts of canon you want to like put in the actual thing. I feel like it makes more sense that the Triforce was maybe moved to a different place for the events of ALBW, but then put back in the Pyramid of the Dark World afterwards. Such a weird sword. Ugh. Why is it structured like this? I say as I draw it. So yeah, I think certain Zeldas can have the entire Triforce within them, which is what I'm talking about. So Dot, for example, does, I think, possess like the power of the Triforce within her. I think having the Triforce integrated into you, so in order to like debuff the Zeldas, because it would be too powerful if you could just wish on the Triforce infinitely. I think there's two ways of using the Triforce. You can either like harness its power, which like Dot will do with the Light Force essentially, or you can wish upon it. And if you wish, then you get like an insane massive wish, like the wish spell from like D&D. But then you don't get to do it again. Like, it's a one-time wish. One person gets one wish. And the worst thing about the wish is that it is whatever your heart desires most at that time. So you have to first display all of Power, Wisdom, and Courage at some point. And then whatever you happen to wish the most will happen. So for example, at the end of Wind Waker, King Daphnis No Hansen Hyrule goes to the bottom of the ocean along with the main cast. And Ganondorf is about to reach the Triforce and place his hand on it and like get the wish. But Daphnis gets there first. And he doesn't like wish for Ganon to die or anything like that, because that's not what he wishes for most in the world. What he wants is for the past to be the past. He just wants everything from the past to like be flooded away, and bury the past within the sands, or in this case, the ocean, and then have the kids go forge a new future. And that's what happens. I like that. I think it's very cool. Exactly. So if you're really hungry when you're making a wish, you might get the perfect sandwich, and then you'd be like, frick! That's my one wish on the Triforce. Well, to be fair, you have to have also displayed Power, Wisdom, and Courage when on your quest to obtain the sandwich, so that'd be difficult. That's a good question. I'm not sure. I think it would be too powerful to be able to harness the Triforce after you wish as well, but I think you should be able to. Flora, for example, does have energy within her. The question of whether it's her own magic power or the Triforce is kind of up for grabs. I'm okay with either one. Essentially, Dot has to be our standard here, because Dot has the Triforce within her the whole time. The Light Force just does belong to her, and she never wishes upon it, actually. She does get a Triforce level wish, but she does so using the Mage Cap, which is a different artifact that is just equally powerful to the Triforce, but was created by one Minish craftsman. I find that so hilarious. Like, generations upon generations of various Zelda characters fighting so hard over the Triforce, and freaking Eslo the Minish craftsman creates, of his own will, an artifact that is of the same strength. So good. Love it. What did you think about Zelda powers that they faded when she used it saving Link? Yeah, I think no. I think she gets to keep some of it. She can't wish on it again, though. So she used her one wish, not necessarily even to save Link, but to, like, imprison... I think her one wish was, like, contain all the evil, I think, is the exact wish she made. So it, like, it kind of bundled up all the guardians that had been possessed at that time and, like, forced the evil out of them. It could still get infected later, but like at the moment, anything that had been like possessed by the evil got like unpossessed essentially. But she couldn't do things like, for example, bring people back to life, because she didn't. That wasn't what she thought she could do, right? She didn't like. It's whatever she wanted most at that time, and what she wanted most was to fulfill the thing she had been trying to do this whole time and seal the evil away. Like she's the princess, right? The princess's job is to seal evil. Well, I mean, that's a good question, Mob, but genuinely, so Dot actually hides the Triforce for the entirety of Minish Cap. It's very cool. Vati shows up, he's like looking for the Light Force. He can't find it. He thinks it's gonna be the reward at the end of the competition, but it's not at the beginning of the game. He like gets to it, he's like, ah, frick, like you guys are hiding the thing that I'm looking for, how dare you? And he gets really mad and he like storms off after turning Zelda to stone, but little does he know that it's actually just completely safe within Zelda still. Like he managed to petrify Zelda, but you know, Dot is still there. Alright, I think that's good enough for like a base color scheme. What did I miss? Oh, the bandages. Frick. Okay, hold on, we're gonna do that next. Yeah, essentially, like, what I'm trying to do here is like come up with rules retroactively that make all of the Zelda timeline make sense. No, she could not have freed herself, I think. Because what she wanted most in the world was not to free herself. And also, she hadn't displayed Power, Wisdom, and Courage at that point. I think she hadn't unlocked her own Triforce wishing abilities. Wait, actually, did she? Hold on. She might have actually... Dot, at that point, has displayed Power, because she, like, I think the first scene of Minish Cap has her just, like, deflecting a massive missile that knocks the king aside. And she just kind of, like, magic missiles it and turns it away, which was very cool. I think that's pretty powerful. Does she do Wisdom? Let's see. Maybe, yeah? I think maybe she might be missing out on Wisdom there. Like, I think Minish Cap Zelda at the beginning of Minish Cap has not yet displayed Wisdom. Pretty sure she could at least undo it. No, it's a one-time wish. You use the Triforce, you use it once. Can't use it again. And I think if it's within you, you can't, like, use it that way, I think. Because we have to, this is the thing, we have to debuff it enough to make it usable. It has to fit both Dot and Flora, right? So the question is, like, if Zelda could have just easily, like, wished upon the Triforce multiple times, then why didn't the others do that, you know? And then why didn't she do that, right? So they clearly didn't, so, you know. No, like, Dot is actually quite powerful, is what I'm saying. Like, even without the Triforce or the Light Force. She has, like, full Magic Reflect, she can shoot things of her own thing. What good is a stupid triangle if it's worthless? 99% of the time, because it's a one-time wish spell. Wait, are you kidding me? You're saying the genie is, like, bad because you can't wish on it more than once? It's a genie, it gives you anything you want. It's so good. And also, to be fair, it is, it's not really meant to, like, do anything in particular. It's just the leftover power of the goddesses, right? I think that's how it's phrased in the game. Echo used too much of the Triforce juice getting rid of Null. I think each person gets one wish. So Echo uses her one wish on the Null bit. Like, set the world to rights. She does the same thing that Legend does. At the end of her game, the entire world gets put into the still world. So she undoes it using the Triforce. And then Silent uses his wish on Cadence of Hyrule. I think Cadence gets warped into their world. They use the power of the Triforce to defeat Ganon in the future, and then they warp Cadence back to her world. So that's both of them, and that's it. Nobody else in their world has the ability to use the Triforce. Oh, the three goddesses are fine, actually. They're chilling. They're just outside the bounds of the universe. If you've read Lord of the Rings, it's like Eru, the god of all things. So in the Silmarillion, which is the backstory of Lord of the Rings, it is revealed that there's a sort of god outside the world who created everything, and then there's like the gods in the world who are like powerful, but they make mistakes sometimes and they do things like normal ways. So for example, like Din, Nehru, Furore, the original goddesses, they're still there. They're just outside the boundaries of the world, along with Null. Null is there too. Meanwhile, Hylia, Demise, the Fierce Deity, Majora, the Windfish, Bellum maybe, and the Ocean King maybe. Those guys are like, they're high-tier gods, but they're high-tier gods of the mortal realm. Triforce was originally meant to stop Demise, and since it was powerful, it stuck around. I actually think the Hylia versus Demise thing is sort of unrelated, right? I'm pretty sure, because the Triforce existed from Ocarina of Time. Demise and Hylia didn't exist back then. It's canon that Hylia and the first hero get busy. I'm okay with that, yeah. I ship them. They're pretty canon. It's allowed. So I'm pretty sure that, like, essentially Din, Nehru, and Furore, when creating the world, they left behind a fragment of their power, and that's the Triforce. And then they kind of just, they're chilling on the outside. They can do what they want. They're like gods, like unknowable gods of the massive scheme. The only time they've talked to anyone within the boundaries of the world is in the Oracle games. They speak to the oracles. Presumably, we don't actually get to hear it, but we can assume that the oracles can talk to the gods that they are oracles for. And then in Echoes of Wisdom, Din, Nehru, and Furore speak directly to Echo. Because she's combating Null. I think that's very cool. Okay, let's see. Maybe I do eyes next? I gotta like... Well, okay, I think I will do the bandages. Ugh, I don't know. Fine, we'll finish this. Cadence warping backwards her own wish. Echo instructs her to do so. I feel like it can't be. I think Cadence has not displayed all the things. Also, she's not... Oh, wait, yeah. Hold on. Okay, so it can't be Cadence's wish. I thought about this. It cannot be Cadence's wish because you can only wish on the Triforce that belongs to a world that's associated with yours. So, for example, Linebeck and the Ocean King do count as a part of Wind's world. So, like, if, for example, somehow Linebeck went to the depths of the ocean and found the Triforce there along with the corpse of, like, King Daphnis Nohansen Hyrule, he could use it. And then, like, if, for example, if, like, Cafe escaped Majora's Mask through, like, the stump thing that, like, Skull Kid goes in and out of, and if he, like, went to the Sacred Realm that's connected to, the Ocarina of Time world, then he could wish on their Triforce if he wanted to. If he had displayed all the virtues up until there in, like, the right amounts, and if he was balanced and so on and so forth. But, for example, I think it would be difficult, if not impossible, for characters like Hilda, for example, to wish upon the Hylian Triforce. She wants to do it, and Yuga definitely uses the energy, but they don't do it well, like it comes off broken. So I feel like in some way, being from a different world, like the further apart your world is from this one, the harder it is to wish on the Triforce. So if your world is as different from theirs as Cadence is from this one, I think you can't wish on the Triforce. Cadence is from the real world, right? So, like, I think by default, she cannot wish on the Triforce. The Oracle physical avatars are literally just them. Oh, they're like people. They're like human people. Yeah, the Oracles from the Oracle games are pretty clearly human, I think. They are kind of, like, mysterious and, like, vaguely connected to the gods, but in the way that, like, an Oracle would be, I think. Oh, not from the real world, but a different fantasy world? Okay, fair enough. I think it's different enough from Hyrule that I think Cadence should not be allowed to use the wish on the Triforce. I don't remember the phrasing of the game, though. I'm okay with either one, as long as it leaves the Triforce unavailable for any character to access afterwards, because I think they need to have used up all their wishes. Is it possible for all the different Triforces? I think it would be difficult to wish on a Triforce that's outside your era, too. I think you have to wish on a Triforce from your own era. Is there anyone who doesn't do that? No, I think everybody pretty fairly comes across their Triforces. Yeah. Maybe. Din isn't the real Din, just some girl named Din. Kind of. She's an oracle of the goddess, right? Like the Oracle of Delphi from, like, Greek mythology and such. From Greek culture, I guess, even. Like, the oracles are real people. They spoke to the gods. Din is the same, where, like, presumably she has magic talents and can speak to the goddess Din. She sort of, like, embodies the spirit of the goddess Din. Yeah. It is the same Triforce, yes, but it distinguishes between people based on their virtues, so it can also distinguish people based on their time. I think that makes sense. Like, it's sort of like it's judging people. Why are the oracles named after the goddesses? Because they have, like, traits that sort of embody the goddess, and then they can speak to the goddess, presumably. So, for example, like, Nehru, the Oracle of Ages, is very wise and, like, has, like, a really good, like, calm persona, and, like, is, like, blue and has blue hair, and she, like, sings really well. And she's the Oracle of Ages because Nehru is all about, like, time and stuff. So, yeah, and there you go. And Furore is cute as frick. And Din is very hot. Wait, who's Jeanette? What is this? The Triforce is that one judgmental relative from the family reunions that always has something to say about everyone. Goddamn. I feel like the Triforce isn't that bad. It's judging, like, in a good... Well, okay, not really. It's judging in a completely neutral way. Like, if Ganon were to show wisdom and courage, Ganon could wish on the Triforce. Usually he doesn't, though. Usually he just doesn't have a balance, and so he splits the Triforce. And then all the pieces go flying, and everybody gets a different piece. Oh, it's just a name that you tossed out. Okay, fair. Yeah, her name is Din, the Oracle. Her name is Din, and she can speak to the goddess Din. Because she's the Oracle of Din. Because reasons. Okay, there. This is kind of shitty, but you know, we're gonna just pretend that it doesn't look like Wolverine. I'll make the lines clearer later. I think these are too thick. I think that's what this is. Because they're supposed to be needles. It's supposed to be like thin. Yeah, well... Yeah, I guess it's okay for now. I guess I could also have the hand in like a little different place. Huh, yes, I did actually... I was thinking a little bit of Yoda Forger, yeah. From Spy X Family. She's more muscular though. Lullaby has more muscles than your Forger. This is she's not as much of a twink. Also, why is there a line here? What is that? Okay, there it is. Original Hyrule Warriors, different people get the Triforce and store it within them. Yes, so that is actually another way of using the Triforce. That's canon too. So, this is what I was talking about when I say the Triforce splits. So sometimes what happens is someone gets to the Triforce and they don't actually have an equal balance. So this actually happens in Echoes of Wisdom. Technically, sort of, it happens in Twilight Princess. It's never actually mentioned, but we're supposed to assume that that's what happens. In all of these games, the issue is like, so in all of these games, the issue is that like someone gets to the Triforce before anyone else can, and they don't have the full virtue. So the clearest one is in Echoes of Wisdom. Because like, I feel either like, doesn't Evil Zelda get there first, I think? Evil Zelda gets there first, and she doesn't have the equal Triforce pieces. So they go flying. And it breaks up, and it's cool. Same thing with OOT. Yes, also true, yeah. Wind Waker Ganondorf does display all the requirements. By that point, he has been wise, he has been courageous. It's not even a counter, that agrees with my theory, yeah. Or maybe counter to something that somebody else said. I agree with you, Grilled Turtle. Correct, indeed. I like to think that Din is not a Gerudo. I like to think that she's from Holodrum and the people of Holodrum just have dark skin. But that's up to you. That's a headcanon. There's not too many other characters in Holodrum with like dark skin or anything. I just think it's neat. I think some people should have dark skin. This is why when I draw Hyrule, like the original hero of Hyrule, I follow the headcanon that he's from outside of Hyrule. And so I like to think that he's got a little bit of like Holodrum heritage in there, so his skin is a little bit darker, like the people of Galatia have a little bit darker skin. That's why I draw him a little bit darker. Same thing with Maple. Because Maple's first appearance was in the Oracle games, and then later she got added back into A Link to the Past, I like to think that that means she canonically has darker skin because she's a Holodrum immigrant, so I've... Also, I think it's cute to have like a darker skinned witch. All the witches are so pale in fiction, come on. I'm a little biased. That one I'm a little biased. But I think it's based on canon, so it's okay. Then she gets power, Echo gets wisdom, and Silent gets courage. Yep. Yeah, get split up. Each character gets a piece. Everybody gets a piece. You get a piece, you get a piece. Yeah, same thing with the Hyrule Warriors game. So like, I think Ganon gets to it, but he hasn't shown all the traits. So it splits up, and then Zelda has wisdom. Link gets Triforce of Courage for a while. Then they get them stolen, don't they? I think they get them stolen, and then like Ganon tries to like use it in some way. I did see the cutscenes, it's been a while. I remember Artemis getting her Triforce stolen at the same time as Warriors. Like both of them are there, and they're both getting their Triforce stolen from them because they like rushed in too far or something. Yeah, okay, that sounds right to me. Oh, it's multiple times? Shit. Okay. Sounds about right. Yeah, this is why Artemis... So actually, fun fact, if I could make a triangle and then put like a Triforce within the Triforce of Wisdom, I could fit each of the like 9 main Zeldas to it, I think. So like, imagine this, right? Like, hold on. Imagine this. Like, you got your like Triforce, right? Like your proper Triforce. But we're gonna like zoom in on a section. See here? This is the shittiest Triforce you've ever seen. Little did you know, right? But then you could like zoom in, and it would be like, and like, and then within here, this is like wisdom, right? Like all of this is wisdom. But then within here, you could make like another Triforce, right? And then like, and you can like put people in here. You can like put them in different categories. Like, what's the most wisdom-oriented wisdom Zelda? Like the Zelda that is so freaking wisdom that no one else is more wisdom than her. And that's probably Dusk, I think. Like in this corner is Dusk, who's just so wisdom that like nothing else is happening. What other Zeldas are like wisdom oriented? Let's see if I can actually, oh yeah, I feel like we could probably do this. Hold on. I could tessellate this. Hold on. So if Dusk is in this corner, what's the most power oriented Zelda? I think it's probably Artemis. Like maybe Sun actually? Could be Sun, could be Artemis. Artemis is like maybe power courage. I think Artemis is power courage. Sun is maybe all power. And then I think Fable is power wisdom. Maybe? Sun is courage, you think? She's so powerful though. She actually doesn't show any courage. I made my argument for why Sun shows no courage. No, look, Skyward Sword Link shows courage. Skyward Sword Zelda does not show any courage at all for the entire game, and that's why she needs to pair with Link. This is specifically the Zeldas. Only the Zeldas here, not the Links. Because we're in the Wisdom Triforce. I think Skyward Sword is actually missing courage. So I'm either putting her in like Power Wisdom or Power, I think. She was courageous enough to throw her... That's not courage! That's power! Courage is doing the best you can in a situation that feels hopeless when you're scared, right? Like Link getting thrown off the cliffs is courage. No, wait, she's exerting her power over Link. wait. Courage is doing the best you can in the absence of fear. She's not scared for Link. She's like, yeah, I'm so freaking I can throw you off a cliff. She put on a white dress and let herself be sealed in a rock is wisdom, in my opinion. She was not scared to do that. I think throughout the entire series of events, she's very wise, extremely wise, and quite powerful as well. Yes, stood up to Groose. That's true, but once again, from a situation of power. Like, she's doing all this, not necessarily in a courageous way. Like, she's not gonna get any fallback from any of this, right? Like, Groose isn't gonna hurt her. Like, she's not scared of Groose. Sky is scared of Groose, and Sky is definitely courageous to try to do what he does. And also, Groose is an amazing character. I freaking love Groose. But I would argue that all of those are instances of power and not really courage. I actually don't think Sun is courageous at all. Not in a bad way. It's just, you know, it's not something she needs. She's very powerful. She's very wise. Mostly the wisdom carries her. She doesn't really have an opportunity to be courageous because she's just always in a situation of power. I think that leads to an interesting character. It's like very cool for her. Anyways, where does Flora go? I think Flora's definitely like in the wisdom quadrant as a scientist, right? Here, we gotta like sort them into quadrants. Okay. I think, who's the courage? Dawn is courage, I think, right? Like Dawn is courage. Well, no, but she does wisdom though. She does use wisdom to like, would you be courageous enough to push Dust off a cliff? Okay, so the thing is, the difference here is that if I pushed Dust off a cliff, Dust would retaliate. So I would need to be courageous to do that. However, if Sun pushes Sky off a cliff, Sky will not retaliate. So Sun is not scared. Echo is somewhere close to... Yeah, I feel like Echo is... well, we'll get... I think Echo is maybe in the middle. I agree. Ruling Hyrule at 8 takes courage. I agree. I think, yeah, you know what? You could argue that, like, standing there in the face of Ganon, who, like, has just killed your parents right in front of you and bargaining for your life. That's really courageous, but it's also wise. It's definitely not powerful. So Dawn is either, like, courage, or, like, courage wisdom, I think. Yes, Dawn is canonically 10. Dawn is canonically 10 in her game, but I am actually de-aging her by 2 years. Because I need her to be younger. So I think she's like 8 and just about turning 9. Yeah, at the beginning of TLOZ. I'm de-aging her by like 1 year actually, because she's 10. Dawn is the first Zelda. Zelda 1. You know what? Hold on. Wait, I can make this easier. Let me pull up my little icons for all the characters, then you people will know. This will make it easier. Give me a second. We're gonna start theory crafting, folks. We're gonna... Little did you know what you signed up for. Here we go. I put in an image. Okay, there we go. Here's all of them. Can you read this? This is a handy dandy key. This is... Oh, Tetra! Okay, wait. Tetra's like power courage. Here, okay, wait. We can do some sorting. Okay, before we do the Triforce courage. Okay, we'll just put them all out here. I can read. Okay, neat. Good. All right. So look, we'll put them in order. And then we'll figure out what attributes they even have, and then we can start like putting them in the quadrants. Sun, dot, lullaby. I'm skipping Echo and Phantom. We'll do them later. Because we have the main 9. Fable, Dawn. I'm skipping Echo. Tetra. Skipping Phantom, Dusk. Artemis. And Flora. Okay, so like right off the bat, right? I feel like Dusk is wisdom. Is just wisdom. Like this is pretty easy. Yes, Dawn is the little sister of everybody. If anything happened to Dawn, the entire gang would commit murder on a large portion of people. Echo would kill everybody in that era, including herself. Okay, like I think Dusk is like set. It's just double wisdom. I think this is like the easiest affiliation. Because she's like, she only shows wisdom and like not a single scrap of anything else. Here, I'll make this even bluer. Hold on. Yeah, we're Pokemon typing the Zeldas. Yes, this is exactly what we're doing. Okay, Alright, so Tetra is definitely at least somewhat power-coded, right? But is it first? I don't know. I think she has, like, power. I think she has courage. She could do both, right? Dawn, I think we could make an argument for, like, courage. I think we can make an argument for wisdom, too, but, like, maybe more courage. Dot is pretty wise in most of what she does. And she's decently powerful, too. I think I could go, like, wisdom power on her. It matters, by the way. Like, primary and secondary matter. Courage, wisdom, as she chose... Wait, how is it courageous to not fight? Like, she took the most wise decision. I disagree, Lava King. Argue courage first, but it could go either way. For Tetra, you mean? I think Dusk made essentially the most wise decision she could at every point. Like, for example, when Zant came calling, she realized, like, the courageous thing to do would be, like, stand up and fight. Like, come on, soldiers of Hyrule, you've got this. Like, if Artemis was in her shoes, that's what Artemis would have done. As someone who has been characterizing the Zeldas for ages. This is what I think, by the way. It's just me. This is all my opinion. But Dusk, she's wiser than that. And she knows that courage is not what she needs to display here. She knows that if she fights, she's going to lose. That's wisdom to know that, and to hold back and to bide her time. It takes courage to surrender just as much, but whatever. Yeah, you can argue anything, sure. Okay, fair enough. You can argue anything. I think the way to, like, sort of embody courage there would have been to stand up and fight. Yeah, sure. I think it's still wisdom, though. I think it's extremely wise. So courage is something someone does with, like, an expectation of some downside. Like, if you're in a situation that's scary or bad or, like, difficult, and you stand up to it in some way, I feel like that's more courageous. Yes, there is technically the chance of retaliation if Dusk just does what Zant says, but, like, not really, right? Like, it's the most wise thing to do because she's biding her time. She's saving her resources for a strategic retreat, and she'll come back later. Same thing with Midna and the Triforce of Wisdom. Yes, exactly. Giving her life to save Midna is the most wise thing to do. She knows exactly what's going to happen. It's not going to cause her any harm. She just fades into the dark world or whatever. Into the Twilight Realm place thing. And it's like, it's a very wise move because she knows exactly what she needs to do at that point to save Midna. She's figured it out. She's put together all the pieces. She's got the Triforce in her hand and she gives it up. Sure, it's courageous, but I think it's mostly wise. This is, once again, my argument, though. Only my opinion. Meanwhile, yeah, Artemis, I feel like power, definitely. But definitely not power wisdom, though. I think Artemis could also kind of go power courage or just power. Honestly, if any Zelda's gonna be all power, maybe it could be Sun, too. I feel like Sun is wisdom power. Artemis is from Hyrule Warriors, the non-canon game. Is Lullaby the adult of Fable? No, Lullaby is Ocarina of Time. And Fable is A Link to the Past. If that helps. Fable, let's see. I think I'm gonna put Flora in Wiz Courage. Maybe. Because she does eventually show courage at the ending of Breath of the Wild. I feel like she's definitely in the Wiz quadrant, though. Which leaves Fable has to be in the Power quadrant. She has Din's Fire. Right, okay. But then maybe Power Wisdom, I think? That's too many people in Power now. Somebody's gonna have to get out of... Artemis could be all courage. Does she have power? Artemis could be all courage. Yes, Elegy and Requiem are not in this list. I have designs for them already. If you want to learn more about them, check out Time's Refrain. It is that's like the story that we'll talk about, those two. They're not characters in Wisdomverse because they have their own thing that they did in the past, and it is a past thing. Lullaby, as the Sage of Time in the Wisdomverse, can see into their lives, and there's like a bunch of story around that. So if you want to check that out, check out Time's Refrain. You can find a link to it at this tinyurl.com/wiztr. There. You check that out, you'll find it. If you want to. Okay, Lullaby. Courage. I think being stealthy, like hiding from Ganon for 7 years, all of that, that's pretty courageous. Maybe like courage, wisdom, courage, power. I could see that. I feel like I'm gonna go, but yeah, I do like double courage for Dawn. I like that. Can I get somebody out of power? This is difficult. Holy shit. Okay, you know what? We gotta do like first. What we'll do is we'll just sort them into like Wiz, Power, Courage. We'll forget the secondaries. We'll just do mains, okay? That'll make this easier. So like, I think Wisdom is pretty set. I think it has to be Dot with like the scholar stuff. Like she's the sage. She's been like working on artificer stuff. You know what I mean? She creates magical artifacts and is very smart and things. Dusk makes very wise decisions. She's a historian. She's been studying things of the past. In her game, she researches and finds out where the Master Sword is and tells Link about it. It's a very wise move. Flora, you know, she's a scientist. Obviously, she's in Wisdom. Okay, so we'll do the rest later. Dawn is Courage. I can agree with that. Yeah, I think that Dawn's main has to be Courage. You're right. Artemis Power. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, okay. I think we're gonna have too many people in Power. Weirdly enough. Okay, Tetra's gotta be Power too, right? She's the captain of her pirate crew. She's like going around ordering people. Yeah, okay. We only need 3, that's true. Who's the last Power? So Fable then, I think, becomes the last Power? For blasting through the barrier of Ganon, like with pure magical strength. Lullaby could be Courage, I guess. Sun could also be Courage. I feel like Sun should be Power though. This is the problem. I feel like Sun is also Power, and nobody is left for Courage. Like, I feel like Sun or Artemis could go either way. Pirates are more Courage than Power. That's true. That's true, actually. Yeah, sneaking around. I'll take that. I think Tetra could definitely be Courage. Argue Tetra for Courage? Yeah, I'm okay with that. And then Sun goes Power, I think. And then Lullaby can finish off Courage. Okay, I like this. This is good. This is definitely good. Yeah, okay. So now we need, like, the ends... We need to die is what. We need the ends of the quadrants now. So who's double wisdom, right? Argue Tetra for Power. She has a cannon. Well, it's not her cannon. Does she even... Wait, hold on. Does she have a cannon? She doesn't get a cannon. You get a cannon. Like, the King of Red Lions has a cannon, and so does Linebeck. Does Tetra's ship have a cannon? Oh, it does, right? Because she gets bombs. She has a cannon. Yeah. Like, in Wisdomverse, she has a cannon, because I gave her one. That's a catapult. She does have a gun. That's canon. It's in Hyrule Warriors. I think she can have a cannon. You know what? Frick it. She gets a cannon, too. You get a cannon. Everybody gets a cannon. Cannons are supposed to be unique to the Ocean King's realm, so presumably she would have one eventually. But I'm giving her a cannon. Frick it. There's reasons. Yeah, oh, actually, good point. Yeah. Catapult plus bomb is just a cannon. That's true. Alright, okay, anyways. So we've done mains, right? I think Dusk goes double wisdom. Who's double power? So either Fable, Sun, or Artemis is double power. I think Fable's definitely power wisdom. Right? I think this is how it is. Tetra could be courage power, I think. Yeah, okay, Tetra could be courage power. I could see that, you know? And then Dawn is, I think, double courage, because Lullaby is courage wisdom. Yeah, this makes sense. Okay, so now we have Flora and Dot on main wisdom, and we have courage and power for both of them. Which of Dot and Flora is more courageous and or powerful? Both of them are extremely powerful. Both of them contain pretty much an equivalent power to the Triforce, like we were talking about with Dot's Light Force. Flora has more power than courage, but both of them have one moment of showing, like... So Dot, the beginning cutscene of Minish Cap, has her essentially just, like, tank a hit that took out her father. She just freaking bats it away. It's such a power move. And then Flora, standing there in front of Wild's body, collapsed on the floor with the Guardian. Like, that's courage. She didn't know that was gonna work. She was probably insanely scared, but she turned around and she's like, okay, I have no other choice. Like, I have to do my best. That was very courageous. So I could see either way, really. I could definitely see either way. Does Dot ever display courage? Does Dot display courage? Hold on. I don't think Dot ever needs to display courage. Wait. Okay, so Minish Cap. Minish Cap, she like just tanks a bunch of hits, gets petrified, and then at the end of the game, she displays a whole bunch of wisdom all at once by getting the Mage Cap and then immediately using it to set the world to rights. It's so cool. Oh, yeah, heroes defeated, don't worry. There's actually, many of these people have used the Triforce. Yeah, like a lot of them definitely have all of the like equal power, wisdom, and courage. That is a thing. Don't worry. Yeah, I do believe, so the way that I've done it, the way that I've like specifically set it up, I've put Legend uses, so each person can only use the Triforce once in Wisdomverse because I think it makes for a better story and it like kind of explains a bunch of things like why didn't the characters just use the Triforce to fix whatever, right? Like so each person can use it once and they have to have all the characteristics to be able to use it in balance, etc., you know. So Legend uses his at the end of ALTTP, Fable uses hers at the end of ALBW, and then both of them have used it, so they're already kind of done. And yeah, like that does mean that she has displayed an equal amount of power, wisdom, and courage, but we're not talking about that. We're just talking about like if we could type them. You know, because, like, she's a Zelda, right? Like, she's in the Wisdom Quadrant, obviously. This is all within the Wisdom Quadrant. I'm kind of stuck on Dot and Flora. I think they could definitely go either way. Which Zelda's the most likely? I would say maybe not Echo, because she actually doesn't try the stupid trend, right? Like, that's like the whole bit. I guess she does kind of try every smoothie in the book, though. Shit, you're right. No, I gotta decide this. Wait, okay, so, if Flora does both power and courage, she's definitely shown all three. I need to think of, I think Dot has only shown power. I think she has not needed to show courage. In Four Swords Adventures, which I consider, once again, I consider the manga canon, because it's really good. In manga canon, Dot, she is pretty courageous, though. That's kind of true. Yeah, like, Shadow kind of tortures her a little bit, and she stands up to it. I mean, if you've read, like, 13 of Secrets We Keep, that's my view on that. Yeah, okay. Torture, you say? Mental, don't worry. And also, they become friends afterwards. The way that I wrote it, which is, like, my interpretation of the manga events, is that, like, at first, Shadow starts showing her, like, in the Dark Mirror, like, all the bad things that are happening to Link, which is, to be fair, like, pretty terrible stuff. Like, like, Green has to, like, fight his mentor in the Dark World. Blue literally gets frozen and starts dying, like, he's suffocating in the ice. Red gets accused of arson and gets, like, mobbed by a town. Yeah. All that Shadow does canonically is verbally bully her, but once again, like, this is my interpretation of what happened in the gaps between the manga. Shadow has access to the Dark Mirror. The Dark Mirror can show you the entire world. So my specific headcanon is that Shadow is like, look at this, look at your Link suffering type of thing, you know what I mean? But like Dot kind of just, like at first she's like, ah, but then after a while she's like at some point, Shadow is like, look, I'm corrupting Vio, wahaha. And then like at some point Shadow's like, oh yeah, Vio did this stupid thing today. And Dot's like, oh yeah, he could be like that. And then like, they become friends. And this is canon, like they do become friends at the end. By the end, when Shadow gets revived after being killed by Link, Dot is the one who comforts him. So, which is kind of cool. That's super courageous, to be honest. And not really a power move, but it is also sort of like a wisdom move, to be honest. I could say it's maybe not even courageous at all. Ugh. It's so difficult to decide. Maybe I should do Sun and Artemis first. Okay. So, it's, what do we have left? We have power and courage. Okay, I think Artemis... I think Sun is all power, maybe? Sun is all power. As the goddess Hylia reborn, she's just double power. And by the way, once, like, all of these are Wiz. Like, all of this is, like, starts with Wiz. Wiz. Everybody, because they're all Zeldas, they all start with Wiz. But then, like, this is the question of what happens after that, right? Like, so power, I think, for Sun. And yeah, I think Artemis could definitely be power courage. She's the one who's, like... When Ganon confronts her in Hyrule Warriors, I think she says something like, I'll do anything it takes, you know, to take you down. And then she keeps losing the Triforce, presumably, so it doesn't work out that great for her, but it's okay, she's trying her best. Echo would totally try the cotton candy if the Deku Scrubs actually let her. Wait, did Try tell her not to do so? I thought Echo, like, looked at the cotton candy all like, yo, shit, this kind of sucks. Is that not true? I could be wrong. You know what? Echo is a gremlin, she would. Yeah, I agree. She probably would. Does Try tell her? That's great. I love that. I headcanon Echo as a gremlin. The question is, how canon is this? You have screenshots. Heck yeah. I can trust Mom to have screenshots. Oh, man. Echo would destroy the economy just to prove she can. To be fair, like a lot of protagonists would. Is Echo the only Zelda with a record? That's not true. Tetra has a record. Tetra has a real record. Echo has false accusations. Tetra is actually wanted by the government. Like, on screen, she kidnaps, robs a bomb shop owner, ties him up in a back room, and steals his stuff. Yeah. There's no way. Honestly, to be fair, if Artemis wasn't the government, she would be wanted by the government too. She's lucky. Artemis is like, I am the police. Oh, man. And to be fair, Fable was kind of wanted by the government for a little bit, in the same vein as Legend, but not really. The bomb shop never happened, false information. I see we have a Tetra supporter in chat. Would argue that she did try it. You know what? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I think I saw that headcanon of yours on Tumblr, Mob. I agree with it. I think she definitely would have gone back and been like, okay, so, you know. You wrote out a headcanon, Mob, I think, where it was like later in the Decline era. Like, someone wrote out this headcanon, I think it was Mob, where like later in the Decline headcanon like era, Dawn is just walking along, you know. There's a spider web. It's like a Goma spider web. It was you? Okay, awesome. That's what I thought it was. And Echo's like, oh, don't try that. It tastes terrible. And Dawn is like, I wasn't planning on it. I love that. So canon. And then if I drew that, by the way, the next panel would have like Hyrule being like, yeah, I wasn't planning on. And then like they all exit the screen, and then Hyrule like runs back in and tries it, and he's like, oh, it does taste kind of, it tastes kind of okay actually. And then he'd walk back. Oh man. Yeah, Artemis would be like, I find myself not guilty. And then like all the council members who hate her would be like, excuse me? You're guilty for existing? And she's like, okay, false. All right, anyways, I have one last one to decide here before I can go back to actually drawing. We were doing Lullaby artwork. Wait, hold on, I gotta decide this. Is Dot more powerful or courageous? I feel like I've been convinced that Flora is courageous and Dot is powerful. But this could definitely go either way. Roll comes back and his mouth is sealed shut. Yeah! Like he comes back. And Echo's like, oh, where'd you go? And he's just like, signs something really quickly with Hylian sign language. Should I? I think I should. Whiz power. Flora gets courage. This is weird. This doesn't feel right to me. Flora is so powerful. But Dot just isn't courageous. She doesn't need to be. I mean, she kinda is, standing up to Ganon, standing up to Vati, but she has the power to do it. You know, it's not quite courage, if you have the power to do it. Dusk is very socially awkward due to her time in isolation during Xant's rule. This is, yeah, totally canon to Wisdomverse. If you read the intro chapter in, if you read the intro chapter for her in the Founder's Call, that's exactly what happens. She goes to visit Telma in the bar, and it's great. And she's like, have they found out that I'm the princess? And Telma's like, no, they're like ogling you, like you're kind of hot. And she's like, frick. Well, thank you for your discretion. How do you do, fellow kids, to Echo and Dawn? Dusk would say that, and like Dawn would just take her at face value because Dawn is so nice. Dusk and Dawn actually get along really well, in my opinion. Like Dusk is like, for all the times where Dawn gets like warped out to the Wisdomverse gang and Echo isn't there, Dusk treats her as the younger sister. I feel like Dawn and Dusk get along really well. Yeah, Echo's teaching Dawn sign language. Yay, it's one way for her to feel closer to Silent after Silent, you know, like, died and stuff in the past. Okay, we did the thing. All right, now I get to do the diagram. Hold on. This was important. This was clearly extremely important stuff. Extremely, extremely important. Totally, extremely, normally important. So we've got the shitty mini Triforce back. And then... yeah, everyone loves Dawn, except for the Eyes of Ganon. Yeah, the minions of Ganon. I think the Eyes of Ganon refers specifically to the Aches, like the big bat creatures. But I kind of like the thought that they're like some sort of evil cult. Like, I like that at headcanon. It's not as supported by canon because it's just referring to the bats usually. But I like it. I like the thought that they're a cult. either way, the minions of Ganon definitely, yeah, they're not after it. Yes, Echo's link. Oh, yeah, so this is all based on my AU series. It's called the Wisdomverse. If you want to check out the Wisdomverse, you should do so. If you type in, I think it was !comic into chat right now, you'll get a link to the comic. There's a pretty short interlude actually called Echo of the Past. So if you go to either like Insta or Tumblr on my username, Linda Ross, same username on all the sites, and you just search up Echo of the Past, you'll find it. Actually, if you just look up Echo of the Past on Google, you'll probably get it. Hold on. Echo of the Past. Does it work? No, probably not. Yeah, it's some movie. There's some Netflix movie. Okay, put Echo of the Past and then put like Wisdomverse. Yep, there you go. If you type in Echo of the Past Wisdomverse, you'll probably get it. And then if not, just go to my like username. You'll find it. Or you could click that link. Thank you, Mob. Yeah, that's the link. That's true. Okay, that's true. Yeah, no, actually, Heroes Defeated has definitely convinced me. That's a good point. Yeah, I like that. That was an all courage move. No power, all courage. This is true. She had no power in that situation, and she had enough wisdom to decide that that's what she needed to do, and enough courage to do it despite knowing that she was essentially killing herself. That is true. I love it. Okay, that convinces me. I think we're correct here. This is good. We've done it. We've hecking done it. We have done the mini Triforce. Okay, so just to be clear once again, this is all the Triforce of Wisdom. This is all wisdom here. This is TW. Not trigger warning. Triforce of Wisdom. Okay. Sun is at the top. And then Artemis for power courage. You're gonna have to deal with my shitty handwriting. I can write better if I want to, but it takes so long. And then we put Fable for power wisdom. That makes sense. She's incredibly dramatic, incredibly charismatic, and she does blast through the barrier twice with all the 7 sages. So good for her, as you should. Okay. And then in the wisdom quadrant, we have Dusk for full wisdom. This makes sense. And then we have Dot for wisdom power. Insane moves at the beginning of Minish Cap, and also at the end. She single-handedly essentially murders Ganon. It's pretty cool. Princesses back then just built different. Should 4 have an identity crisis? Like, imagine being 4 separate people only to go back with 4. Yeah, to some degree. It's been 4 years since the end of his Four Swords Adventures thing, so he's 20 in Wisdomverse. So I think he's had like 4 years to kind of get used to it. But yeah, definitely, it must suck. Same thing a little bit, but with a little bit of difference for Lullaby, actually, and for Requiem, and not Elegy as much, but Requiem and Lullaby specifically have both been chic for a while, and had to sort of like play different roles at different times. Requiem, we see her doing this in Ocarina of Time. Lullaby, I will be writing out what she does. It's quite good. I'm looking forward to sharing it. But she too has been chic for quite a while. Necessary circumstances, etc. And then in the courage quadrant, it's not a quadrant, is it? Wait a minute. But trident doesn't sound right. What's the 3 version of a quadrant? Asking the real questions. Oh, this is the wrong color. Oh no. There. Trident. That ain't right. That certainly ain't right. Okay, here. Sun, Fable, Artemis, Dot, Dusk, Flora, and we're missing Tetra for courage power. Yep, makes sense. And then Lullaby for courage wisdom. Yep, entirely fair. And Dawn for double courage. These parts could be a little darker. Yay! There we go! Let's go! Wanna headcanon the Dawn can't swim, only so Dawn can wear adorable water wings. Alright, canon accepted. Yeah, Dawn can swim. It's canon to Wisdomverse now. I love that. Dawn has a raft, by the way. Like, she just has one. Like, that's part of her... No, because... So the rule of Wisdomverse... Oh, but yeah, for the people who are a little bit newer to Wisdomverse, you might not have seen this. So I do have a rule for which items the Zeldas can have. I think it's a little overpowered to just give every Zelda every item. And the Links obviously have, like, very defined items because they, you know, are from the games. So the rule for Zeldas and items, to help balance out the less popular Zeldas, the ones from, like, the older games, the Zeldas have any item that their Link has duplicates of and would therefore be able to give them one. So, for example, you'll see Fable use the Cane of Samaria in the Wisdomverse comics. That is because Legend has 2 Canes of Samaria. He got one from ALTTP, he got the second one in the Oracle games. They are different items, so he can give one to Fable and still have one left. So this actually works kind of perfectly. This specific rule gives all the more underpowered Zeldas a duplicate item that they could use. So anything that like a Link has double of, their Zelda gets one of. Unless it's like super OP or something, but I don't think anybody has that. Can the Zelda summon Princess Hilda? She is the alternate Fable after all. That's a good question. I actually don't think so. Not because she's not the alternate Fable, but because the summon is specifically for wielders of wisdom. I think Princess Hilda is a wielder of power. I think she is the princess, but she's a princess of power from her era. And I think Ravio is the hero of wisdom. So the real question is, can the Zelda summon Ravio? And the answer is potentially yes. Boy. Boy, am I looking forward to that. I think that'll be really fun. Like, come on. They're not going to use it for anything plot relevant, probably. Doesn't Hilda not care about Hyrule? I don't think so. She does care about Hyrule, but she cares about Laurel more, which is valid. Laurel was suffering. She has to prioritize her people at the cost of the others. At the end, when she gets the chance to step down and let, essentially trust her fate to Link and Zelda, she does it, so. I would say she's not apathetic, she's just... So here's the thing, I've been writing things and I can't like spoil things, but but yeah, Hilda is a Wisdomverse character, like she will be in Wisdomverse eventually, because I like her. And I like to think she and Dusk would hate each other because they're so similar. Like she and Dusk are very cold and calculating, and in a very wise way almost, but in Hilda it's like from a place of power. Like for Hilda it's more of like, this is something that I am able to do, so I will do it. Versus for Dusk, she's like, I cannot do this, so I have to do this instead. But for both of them, they come off as like a little bit cold because of it. Like, they're very logical. And yeah, if they met each other, which I will not say anything about, but if they met each other, they would just despise each other. Like, what the frick are you? It's like, wow, she's just like me. I hate her. Screw them, Hyrule folk killed them. No, she likes them. She shows up every now and then. Ravio invites her to tea parties. I've drawn this before. Every now and then, Ravio invites her to tea parties with Fable at Legend's house. Even when Legend isn't there, they show up and have a tea party. And Hilda's like, okay, fine, whatever. All right, okay, back to the drawing. We got so sidetracked. Here we go. Okay. I think I was doing bandages. I finished that. What else? Could outline the sword, could remove some of the lines here. Okay, let's do cleaning up the lines a little bit, I think. Let's go. Just take out some of this. Maybe like here. And like here. Business scrubs start rebuilding the smoothie shops after the eyes of Ganon get pushed back eventually, and then Ton or Echo summon Ravio to help them with the business. Haha! Oh man. Ravio versus the Deku scrubs. Who will win? You know what I want to see? I want to see Ravio versus Beetle. I'd be scared. I'd be hecking terrified. I'm pretty sure, isn't Beetle in like the Oracle games? Hold on, I gotta look this up. I forgot. Is Beetle in the Oracle games? Beetle, Oracle, games, Zelda. He's not, maybe? Yeah, he's not, okay. So I don't think Beetle is in any of the games that Ravio has access to in his era. Stupid headcanon that Ravio says the F word around Dawn and she goes to ask one of the other Zeldas what that word means. No, Ravio... Ravio would be too smart to get caught for that. Ravio is intelligent. Ravio intelligently said the F word at the right... Actually, does Ravio curse? Ravio doesn't curse, I think. He's too nice. Dawn absolutely knows swear words from Tetra. This is true. One her headcanon that Tetra can't read. That's actually hilarious. No, I do give Ravio a lot of credit. He's extremely smart, actually. Ravio's entire thing is going underestimated, and I love that. I think it's such a great character. Yeah, the way I read Ravio... So this is, yeah, if you want my full take on Ravio, read Secrets We Keep, I guess. Sorry, Lava King, but I have written all of this before. I know you keep asking questions and I keep going like, yes, I've written about this, but it's in a thing, yeah. Yeah, but Ravio specifically, at the beginning of his game, he figures out exactly what's going on before it happens. He manages to collect every item that you would have needed, figures out that he's gonna like go to Hyrule, find the hero there. He tracks down where the hero is, tracks down every item, figures out the plan, tells Hilda about Yuga's plan. Hilda doesn't believe him, so he has to run. He saves your life at the right time to convince you that you're on his side, and he probably pulls you from the painting to do it, which no one else could have done, to be honest. He brought the painting bangle with him, and then, because he's such a nice guy, he gives you the painting bangle. Like, you realize at that point, if Yuga caught him, he would be dead. Like, he has no way of getting out of it. He gave you the only, like, item he has that can save himself. So it's great. Yeah, Tetra can't read. That's funny. I think Tetra has to be able to read just for fun, but I like that. So I had this old comic plan that I never had time to draw, where like the characters, so I think it would be funny if Sun, I'll draw this eventually. I'm not gonna spoil it yet. I'll draw this eventually, and it'll be funny. There's a joke that has relation to this. She knows swears in dead languages of her era because Echo uses other languages to not teach Dawn swears. Oh, you mean like Echo swears in other languages around Dawn? Echo doesn't know. I guess Echo could know like Labrennen or something. Well, so the thing is actually the writing system for each era is actually different. This is proven to us in canon and I'm not going to change it. So there are things obviously as a AU writer you can change, but I don't. I try to change as less as possible. So I am keeping the fact that the writing systems of every era are different. So for example, there's like a scene already in Secrets We Keep where Legend comes across a note. It's been written in a different era, so he uses that note's writing to figure out what time period the note is from. I think that's a neat little thing in canon, actually. In canon, the Book of Mudora is an item from ALTTP that gives the Link of that time the ability to read like the text of the distant past or whatever. Same thing gets brought up again in Wind Waker, where the characters in Wind Waker cannot understand the ancient speak. Both of those ancient speaks are Ocarina of Time. So like the ALTTP characters are translating OOT speech, the Wind Waker characters are translating OOT speech. So presumably there are different languages out there, not even just in countries, but also in eras. Obviously to make things easier, most of us Links people tend to just headcanon that all the Links can speak the same language and we're not gonna like bother with all the like verbal translations, but I think written languages being different would be neat. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you have to find the character to translate the tablet in TOTK, that's right. Yeah, that guy. The little sky tablets and all that. Yep. Ancient languages being different has been a thing in many Zelda games. Yeah. Yes, languages do change over time. Fantasy writers are gonna ignore the shit out of that because otherwise it would just be Flora going back in time like 10,000 years plus. Like, this has to be more than 10,000, probably like 20,000 years. Okay, 20,000 years is what they said. this is what the Tears of Kingdom plot writers said. So 20,000 years in the past, and somehow she can understand Rauru perfectly fair. Doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. Not at all. Genuinely no sense at all. But hey, I mean, what am I gonna do about that? Yo, the hero is defeated. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Welcome to the Linfantry. Yeah, for the folks who know me from Zelda stuff, I do also play tactical RPGs, so stick around, you'll see some fun tactical games. And if you're into Fire Emblem, well, you're in the right place. Yeah, exactly. Proto-Indo-European is all of 6,000 years ago. Like, the human history has not lasted, like, human language history has not properly lasted long enough. Like, Egyptian hieroglyphs are, like, maybe 7,000 years ago at best, because, like, I think, like, 5,000 BC or something is, like, the oldest stuff, maybe. Could be, like, somewhere from 3,000 to 5,000 BC. So I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm okay with that, Joe Generic. I think that's kind of the main headcanon everybody uses, which is just like, you know what? Was it 3000 BC? Okay. I could have sworn it was anywhere from 3000 to 5000, like somewhere between those specific 2000 years, but I mean, long time gap. 3000 sounds right to me. Yeah, agriculture about 12,000 years ago. That sounds right to me, yes. So essentially, yeah, there's some Triforce shenanigans going on. Zeldas do have to know the language of her own subjects of different races. Yeah, true. Also true. Yeah, I could see that. Echo's Land definitely has the Labrinans, the Holodrum people, all in there probably. She could know their languages. They don't like speak any canonical different languages, but it's a headcanon, a common popular headcanon that they do speak different languages. I think that makes sense. Alright, let's go back to this. Shadows maybe next? No, I forgot the Sheikah. Oh no. That's important. To be fair, if you think about it too much, a lot of Zelda just doesn't make any sense. Ah, but see, that's what I'm here for. I am the one person who goes past thinking about it too much until it doesn't make any sense, and then starts like trying to like weave threads together to fill the plot holes. So like, for example, like, yeah, there's no way they should all know the same spoken language. So at the beginning of time, Hylia used her wish on the Triforce to canonically make all of the languages the same for all of eternity, but only in Hyrule because frick the other countries, I guess. And also not for writing because frick writers, I guess. Who needs writing, SMH? She wanted to leave the world a little bit of a mysterious place, but then she also wanted time-traveling people, like her own future reincarnation, to be able to understand each other in the past. So it was within her best interests to make the past versions of her speak the same language as the future versions of other people. Otherwise, it'd be really funny if like Sun just regained all her memories of like being Hylia and then just didn't know what anyone was saying. Like, like that would kind of suck, wouldn't it? Okay, and then we do... No, come back. There we go. I hate drawing straight lines. This is my weakness. Okay, close enough. Can actually watch Sumerian transform from a non-linguistic mnemonic system to a full writing system about 3,000... Oh, nice, okay. Wait, so, okay. But I know hieroglyphics was already around back then, right? I thought Sumerian was first. Is this not true? The Sumerian, like, kind of Middle East-ish, little above that region. And... yeah, Marionette, that's exactly what I think is happening in, like, the Holodrum Labrina area. That's, like, my headcanon. But there are canonical different languages in some eras. So, for example, the Minish canonically speak their own language. And at the beginning of Minish Cap, you have to eat a magic nut that teaches you the language of the Minish, and then you can understand the Minish. I genuinely don't even know why that exists as a plot point, because it's never brought up again, and it also doesn't really stop. Like, you could have just entered the Minish village and immediately been able to understand people. But, like, I guess they had to make it kind of, I don't know. I guess they had to make it so that normal children can't understand the Minish. I think that was the one thing that they had to do. That's why that part's necessary for the plot. But anyways, this is the thing. In some places you can't understand the language and you have to figure it out. But yeah, I like to think that like the people of Holodrum and Labrina have their own language, and then they also speak like Hylian Common or whatever. The Jabbernut. There was one time that Ganon used the Triforce and he forced Hyrule to always speak Old Gerudo so that he could actually understand what the peasants... Wait, yeah, good point, actually. Imagine if, like, Wind Waker Ganon just woke up and, like, hadn't learned anything. Like, obviously he speaks both Ancient Speak and, like, normal Common in Wind Waker, but it'd be so funny if he's just only speaking Ancient and everybody else is like, what the frick is this guy up to? Wait, what is he saying? Wind Waker Ganon's pretty neat. I'm not too much of a fan of the Ganons in general. Like, I like the games where there isn't a Ganon more than I like the games where there is a Ganon. But I think of all the Ganons, Wind Waker probably my favorite. Egyptian also appears ex nihilo as a full linguistic system. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Egypt, very cool. Egypt in general, very cool. Sumerian in general, also very cool. Like this whole region of Sumer. Such a cool place. I like ancient civilizations. Who would have thought? Monty has a story and character. He's like the one main villain that actually gets a redemption arc and then undoes the redemption arc. Every other main villain either gets redeemed, which is also very rare. There's only like 2 or 3 villains who get redeemed. 2. I think there's only 2 villains that get redeemed. I've definitely discussed this on stream before, but I've forgotten for sure. I think Hilda is a redeemed villain. Burn from Spirit Tracks is a redeemed villain. I think that's basically it. And then Vati, who gets a redemption arc and then undoes it in Four Swords. He gets redeemed at the end of Minish Cap and goes back. Yeah, Ganon and Echoes of Wisdom, this isn't even actually the first time something like that has happened. In Oracles, Ganon kind of gets brought back. He is the final boss still, but it's like a failed clone of Ganon. So we've had that happen before, where Ganon gets kind of unholy summoned. Same thing in Link Between Worlds almost, where Yuga does the whole thing and then, you know. We've seen 2 Links have a sister, but have never seen Zelda have a sibling, and that's why I have headcanons. Heck yeah. We actually have seen Zelda have a sibling. Canonically, in Adventure of Link, the 2nd ever Zelda game, Zelda has an older brother. And the older brother curses her to sleep for a long time. It's a problem. Yep, exactly. Mob is correct. So in my series, I combined Echo with the... so I combined Echoes of Wisdom and Adventure of Link. That isn't necessarily canon, but it is based on a canon fact, yes. Adventure of Link canon has Zelda with an older brother. So actually, we had Zeldas having siblings before the Links had siblings. First Link never had any siblings at all, so... In fact, I think we don't have any characters having siblings after that until Wind Waker. And Avril is awesome, by the way. Just so you all know. Vati is changing alignment like one plays jump rope. Just one more crime spree, please. It's okay. Yeah, I'd love that. Okay, I got some things done, but not a lot. And with this... It's okay. I got the most important thing done, which is this. Clearly, this is the most important thing. Clearly. Ah. Alright, thanks for stopping by, folks. I'm gonna go ahead and end stream here. If you haven't already joined the Linfantry, join us. It's a cool place. Usually I do art on Mondays. I do also play some Zelda games sometimes. Right now, though, I'm not playing a Zelda game. I'm playing Hades 2. It's a brilliant game. Absolutely amazing. I'm quite enjoying it. So we'll be playing some of that on Wednesday. And on Tuesday, I play XCOM at the moment. I am actually a tactical RPG streamer. I've been streaming tactical RPGs for quite a while. Huge fan of Fire Emblem. I've played almost every Fire Emblem game. In fact, I am something of a rather good tactical RPG player, you might say. I have done quite a few challenge runs of various tactical RPGs. If you've heard of Triangle Strategy, Final Fantasy Tactics, Tactics Ogre Reborn, Fire Emblem Engage, or Three Houses, or all sorts of fun things. I've done various runs of those, like Maddening and Deathless and Blind Mode and Random Army, where someone has to like spin a wheel and then I get to like only use the characters that are on the wheel. Yeah, just a whole bunch of really fun stuff in there. Right now we're playing XCOM, and chat can put themselves into my army and sacrifice yourself for the name of glory. If you've ever wanted to be thrown into the meat grinder in a fictional army, now's your chance. Come join us on Tuesday for that. It's tomorrow at 5 p.m. PT. Glad I caught the very end of stream. No worries. Thanks for stopping by, one. And I'll go ahead and head out. Let's go raid somebody. Let's go give somebody a raid. Oh yeah, last but not least, if you'd like to stay around for more of the stream stuff, join the Discord. We got one of those ! Discord. If you type that into chat right now, you'll get a link to that. And it looks like Valerian Revelin is playing Wind Waker. Let's go raid them. Been a while since we've seen them. I wonder what they're up to. Valerian Revelin. There we go. Yeah, I want you to join the XCOM meat grinder. Exactly. Come hang out with us over there. It's been a blast. Yeah, I'm quite good at tactical RPGs. What I don't know is American action movies, and that has been just completely murdering me in XCOM. It's great. Every action trope that you could ever think of. So fun. All right, I'll see you later, folks. Bye.